Hello. One, two, three. 1, 2, 3. Oh, no. So, I guess let's just get right into the news. Well, I am setting up listings right now currently for the Etsy, so stay tuned for that. That's pretty much all she wrote on that. I mean, I already put up, it doesn't matter. I've done most of the work. I just need to do a few more things. I am working on it. Okay. Okie doke. So we can just get right into it. Let's just get right into the news.
Difficult part of it is when there are people who have authentic concerns.
Okay, so this video is clearly Mr. Dubs, Mr. Jama, and he is talking about concern, which in my opinion is insanely hilarious and hypocritical coming from Mr. Dubs. I think he's probably the last person that should be talking about concern trolling, and I can get more into why I feel that way as we watch. So.
Now, thankfully for me, I have the majority of this video already recorded. This is just a little addendum. I think an addendum is something that you put at the end, but this is a predendum. I'm throwing in a little predendum. Something that I've been struggling with for a long time on YouTube is concern trolling. The thing that I really struggle with is not
This is like he's like in concern trolling anonymous right now. He's like, I really struggle with concern trolling other people. Is about it has to be because otherwise it wouldn't make sense to me.
identifying concern trolling. The difficult part of it is when there are people who have authentic concern out there and the concern trolls are concerned over the same thing. So I'm like, oh fuck, I'm giving in to the concern trolls by addressing, this segment of the population or this segment of my fan base who have genuine concerns. So I don't want to let the trolls inhibit my ability to communicate to my fans or people who are confused out there. So I want to talk about Creator Clash. I want to talk about the
no, that's the whole reason why I'm here. I'm not skipping ahead, Ian, but thank you for the option, I suppose. Okay, so essentially what he's saying is, only if you're not my critics, only if you're not somebody that's gonna tell me I've done something wrong, or only my fans are allowed to comment on the situation. And by the way, I don't know if I have it. Oh fuck, I didn't send it to myself, but it's fine. It's really, it's not a big deal. I found something on the iDub subreddit. This was before this happened. This was like a couple weeks ago even, and all of his there was a post, and a lot of his fans, it was about Creator Clash, and a lot of his fans were like, "Wait, what is this? Why aren't we supposed to not talk about this? Hey guys, we're not supposed to talk about this. We're not supposed to talk about this." And I guess they were told not to talk about Creator Clash in the iDub subreddit. So apparently your fans aren't even allowed to talk about your mistakes. So whatever you say, Ian.
structure of the business and how it's changed over the years, and just sort of put to rest any of the lies that are being spread out there about Anissa, about me, and about the event. My main incentive for sharing this information is that I have felt extremely handcuffed by Creator Clash these past years because I'm not an expert communicator, and I don't know how to convey things,
Holy
not
shit.
over-communicate, not do all these things that potentially put the event at risk and put other people at risk. And that's kind of why I wanted to step away from this event. It feels like it's inhibiting my ability, like the business side of things, like inhibits my ability to communicate openly and effectively, especially when there's so many.
Because you're hiding stuff about the event, Ian, that's not a good or normal thing, my man. Neither good nor normal, my dude. Ah, okay. Frick, dude. Frick, dude. Okay.
So many people counting on me to do that well. So it's a lot of pressure. And now that Anissa and I have stepped away from it, I want to just clear the air because
Yeah, I'm sure it is a lot of pressure because you feel like if you were listen, if you didn't feel like you had to hide anything, you wouldn't hide anything. And if you felt like you could, you would be. And also, if you were more transparent, you wouldn't be in the situation you're in. So, if you're more transparent about finances and where the money was going, frankly, that's it. Yeah, just finances, how you were paying people, that kind of thing.
I don't feel that same pressure that I did when I
What was
was
for charity and what was for fighter's purse and how much the fighter's purse was, and also, you know, yeah.
was part of the event.
Was it? Never mind, I'm not making this stupid.
If you look into charity events, they come in so many different shapes and sizes, and there is
I have,
really no
I have a
format
Red Bull.
that is completely obvious.
I have a Red Bull over there. I'm gonna grab it just real quick. I'm back. Continue.
For creator boxing plus charity. For the first creator clash, we had the business model of after everyone has been paid for the expenses of the event, all profits go to charity. That was the business model, and it was successful. Thankfully, it worked out the first year. Now, some people will be critical of one of the costs being parties for Creator Clash 2.
Is that okay? So didn't they say that? I mean, clearly there's stuff there, venue and different things. I feel like Michael and Kate, is that his wife's name? I feel like they mentioned something about Creator Clash 1 not being fully for charity, which I was gobsmacked about, and I don't know if I'm remembering incorrectly or not. We'll find out because I have that video here, so we'll find out. But yeah, I was always under the assumption that Creator Clash 1 was fully for charity as much as one could be. Of course, like I assumed that the fighters would get a small purse for training and stuff, which was disclosed, and then I assumed the venue would be paid for. But other than the money you absolutely had to spend, I assumed that all of the other, ticket sales, all profits were going to charity after that point. So, and I still assume that to be true. I just feel like I remember something about them saying that, and I will retract if that's wrong, but we'll watch the video. So, I'm not sure if I'm remembering that correctly or not.
And actually Creator Clash 1, because that's where we got the idea from. It was very successful for Creator Clash 1, or the event was successful. We don't know if the party worked to encourage people to promote the event, but that was the idea. You get a bunch of creators to show up to a fucking hotel the night before their fight, and they're going to post about it on social media, and the internet will be abuzz. And the event was to encourage people to promote the event. Us being parties for Creator Clash 2 and actually Creator Clash 1, because that's where we got the idea from. It was very successful for Creator Clash 1, or the event was successful. We don't know if the party worked to encourage people to promote the event, but that was the idea. You get a bunch of creators to show up to a fucking hotel.
I don't believe that for a second. I'm so sorry. That's crazy. What do you mean? Oh God, was it Mike? It was either Michael or Harley. I thought it was a great point. They said you don't go to the event to see, the famous person in the crowd, or like I don't remember who I'm gonna use like the Snoop Dogg example. You don't go to see Jake Paul fight just because like Snoop Dogg's gonna be there. You know what I mean? So, I mean you might, but that's a weird way to spend your money.
night before their fight, and they're going to post about it on social media, and the internet will be abuzz. And the event was successful, so we thought
I think
that
you just wanted, and that's fine. Maybe not the fine part. You using the money that was supposed to be used for charity. Maybe that part's not fine at all. But if you wanted to be with your friends or a gala or whatever, I mean, yeah, don't use the money that was supposed to be for charity. Don't do that, especially when it came out. This one I know for sure, and when it came out, here through, I know they said this for sure. I mean, I don't know. I guess I don't know for sure if this is true. Basing this off of what Michael and Kate said, although I do believe them, I will say that I personally believe them. Now, again, you can take my opinion with a grain of salt if you want. So, they had said that how when it was they had already lost $500,000 or something at that point before they had already planned the party. So they were already in the red, knowing full well that they weren't going to be able to give any money to charity, and then went ahead and had this party anyway. For Creator Clash 2, which
that strategy of having, a little
come on, dude.
hubbub, a little hullabaloo before the
Look at
event.
him. I feel like he is like, did you not edit this? Like, I feel like he is panicking, like right here in this edited format video.
After the event was a good idea. So we ran with that strategy again, hoping that creators will post about it and be excited about it and buzz will be generated. But it didn't happen. Or maybe it did happen, but it just didn't sell tickets. I would cross that off my list as a learning experience.
No, like another thing about that is that everybody was like vlogging about the event, which is fine, which is good. I guess it's good promotion for the event, I suppose. But it didn't encourage, I don't think. Like anybody that was watching that content, if you really think about it. I mean, if you like, let's try to give credence to this theory, but if you're really trying to do that, like you're allowing these people to vlog their own content. If people are going to that creator because they want content from that creator, they've already got it. Like they don't need to go and buy the streams. If they want to go and buy like plane ticket and tickets to go see the event and maybe possibly by chance see their favorite creator, maybe you could say that's a marketing tactic, but I don't even know if I see that. Like that's very what if, you know what I mean? Like that's like buying tickets to go to VidCon to see one specific person that you don't even know for sure is going to be there. They say they're going to be there, but like
Experience of, well, if you do this strategy, you either got to force people to post about it or you have to fucking, I don't know, not do it. You gotta make sure that people are slapping each other during the weigh-in. That's probably what I'd change it to, because it's cheaper, It's a lot cheaper if people slap each other during the weigh-in.
that is such a silly criticism of other fighting events. Oh, it just wasn't about, how they went about promoting just and stuff. It's like, I don't think that that's very couth. It's like, what are you even talking about? That has nothing to do. What are you? Okay. I'm sorry that you had a problem with that, Ian. You're right. Maybe that's not. Okay, what? I could give less of it. I don't care about that.
I don't want this fake drama shit. For the second Creator Clash, we used the same business model. This time we increased the budget, we had more fighters, we had a bigger arena, and more expenses in general.
I really feel it, like hearing, it'll come up later. I'm like much more, I have much stronger feelings about the situation now that more things have come out. Do I still feel like a little bad for Ian, I guess, but he is a grown-ass man. Like one of my mods pointed out, he is a grown-ass man. He can take care of himself. And they both could have stopped this. They're both adults. They could have checked each other. You know what I mean? I don't know. The more I learn, I get.
As a result of that, there were a lot more costs, and our ticket sales did not make up those costs. It seemed very obvious that this was not the way to run the charity boxing event. We told our business partners, we are not going to do this event again unless it can be promised to us that there was a way to guarantee money for charity. And the business model that was presented to us was what we're enacting, or what we did enact this year with Creator Clash 3. And that is, the for-profit side of the business is unincorporated with the charity aspect.
Well, then it's not a charity event, dude. I understand. This is the charity then. Just by itself. Stand Up for Cancer is your charity. It's your charity for it then. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not. It's barely even created. Like, it's barely even connected to the Clash. Like, you are separately raising money for it. At least you're being upfront about it now.
Charity partner.
And if that wasn't a big deal, then why would you have, like, danced around that for so long? You know what I mean? Then just outright saying, like, what it is that you're doing. You just kind of let everybody assume it's for charity, you know?
Is its own fundraiser that we sort of like push people to, you know, before, during, and after the event. I think where some of the confusion is that many people don't understand how.
Dude, I'm so glad that I didn't. I was so close to supporting this event. I mean, and I would just donate to Stand Up to Cancer. Yeah. So yeah. Not doing anything, not giving the Clash any of my money.
Charity events operate, because to be honest, they're all very different. And with something like a charity boxing event, there's a lot of money that you have to front to put it on in the first place. And if you have an investor, you're able to do that.
And people are still using the like, oh, you're just attacking a charity event as a shield. I'm tired of hearing that at this point. Like it maybe the Creator Clash one. You know, you could say that it's like if I'm attacking Creator Clash 1, which, and I don't know, I could be wrong about that one thing, so, you know, you could say that about me in that instance, but again, I am prefacing it with, like, I'm not entirely sure about that. I have to rewatch that part, which we will be doing together, so. Anyway, if you're saying that Creator Clash 1 was a fully organized charity event, and you're only going after Creator Clash 1, and you're like, it was a trash event, and nobody should donate to it, just because it's ran by trash people, nobody should have donated to it, then I could maybe agree with you at a certain, but like at this point, especially like everything that happened with Creator Clash 2, what we know about the funds and what we didn't know about the funds for a while with Creator Clash 3, it's like, I don't think you can like hide behind that anymore. I don't think that's an option at this point.
That investor is going to want money, they're going to want profit, but that at least gives you the initial funds to put on the event. There are other charity initiatives and events that allow.
Dude, I can't lie, the gold tooth is cool though. It's kind of cool. I kind of like it. It's not really my favorite on Ian, but I think it's cool.
Allow people to spend money for a ticket and immediately get a product, and also their money goes to charity. Those are usually big fucking conglomerates, giant companies that can afford that cost because they're selling you other things. Some people have an idea of charity events as being like a strictly altruistic thing where everyone is just sacrificing their time and energy and
okay, so that's a crazy, in retrospect, you should not have said that. Ian, I wish I could clip this. I wish I had somebody to clip this.
Money for the charity. To put on a boxing event costs a lot of money, and even in other examples like events as being like a strictly altruistic thing where everyone is just sacrificing their time and energy.
That's the thing, is that apparently you didn't fully pay people what they were supposed to be paid because they were under the impression that it was for charity, like they were donating their charity. Why would you say that? After having done that. And then not being transparent about where the money was going and who was getting paid what.
Strictly altruistic thing where everyone is just sacrificing their time and energy and money for the charity.
Everybody else was.
A boxing event costs a lot of money, and even in other examples like GDQ, Games Done Quick is a charity event, but they're not like a charity themselves. You know, they run a business and they partner with a charity and they fundraise for the charity. They send people to the charity, and thankfully they have, multiple ways of being paid and paying the people who are running the show. That might be through payment from the charity. That might be through their own Twitch stream or merchandise. I just know that for a charity boxing event in the form of Creator Clash, there aren't too many ways to recoup your money other than ticket sales. And that was obviously the biggest challenge of the previous two events. When it does well, awesome. But when it doesn't, it's a huge problem. It remains to be seen whether the for-profit business side of the event will be successful. But the main controversy, I would say, is that it was revealed with the change of ownership that Anissa and I, because we're 1/3 ownership of Creator Clash, the business, that we were getting 34% of the profit share. We weren't anticipating this event doing well. We wanted to do well enough to pay
Jeez.
back the investment.
Sorry, Ian, continue.
Of course. So that's one of the reasons that we were, okay with the profit share thing. But another part of it as well is that the contract profit share. We weren't anticipating this event doing well. We wanted to do well enough to pay back the investors, of course. So that's one of the reasons that we were, okay with the profit.
You were already, at what point are you talking about? Because you knew that you were in the red, pretty well through the clash. Planning the event to the point of, planning the party, and you already knew you were in the red.
Profit
Rating, and you knew you were in the red.
Share thing. But another part of it as well is that the contract wasn't structured in a way that the profit share could just directly go to charity. It was told to us you could just donate your portion of the profit share to charity after the event. So we were like, okay, fine. Now I know some people will find it hard to believe that Anissa and I were just going to give our portion of the profit share to charity. There's nothing I could really say to, I think, convince them otherwise. It was up to our discretion at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's the thing, is that I don't think it was supposed to be. I don't think anybody was under that impression that doing that. I made a post about Creator Clash. And I almost took it down because I was like, did I misinterpret that? But no, I didn't. Turns out I did not at all. Fuck, it doesn't really matter, but it literally it says that exactly. Okay. Apparently there was 34% being taken out by Ian and Anissa on the for-profit side. The thing is, I and many others were under the impression that it was a for-charity event, not a for-profit event, where the organizers would donate some of the money they earned personally to charity. Don't get me wrong. Any money going to charity is a good thing. It just seems disingenuous. So I was right about that. I didn't know if I was being fair about that or not. I thought maybe I was misinterpreting the information that I was receiving, but I was not, turns out.
End of the day, and if you don't believe us, I can't say anything that'll change your mind. I guess my only appeal is that
He just... I don't know. It's very discouraging. But he's even... I don't think I could do anything to change your mind. It's okay, dude, I believe you, to be honest. That's not really why I was upset in the first. If you weren't giving that money to charity, then good lord, son. You know what I mean? Fucking, I hope you were, and I believe you. I don't even know if I would have brought that up, but I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it doesn't matter whether you did or not. People were going to think didn't. So it's it's just disingenuous. It's not really... You should have been... You know what I mean?
Don't believe us, I can't say anything.
So how is the money allocated in Creator Clash 1 is my question now. When did that money... Was it Creator Clash 1, the money that went to charity, saying fully went to charity, and I believe him, or the money that they can, you know what I mean? After paying like all the fighters' training fees and everything they have to do for the clash, you know, the venue, everything, you know. I believe that that money went to charity. How did it go to charity though? I'm genuinely wanting to know at this point. Was that the plan for CC2 or was that already enacted in Create a Clash 1? You know what I mean? Was that money, was that 34% for charity being taken out by you in Creator Clash 1 and that's where the money was donated? That from that, I'm just, how long has this like been, I don't know if lied about is the right word, but it's like you're obfuscating the truth. It's like you're leaving out very important pieces of information to make yours that makes you that happens to make you look better and makes you look like you're a better person. I don't know, you could just be what would be more honorable though would be to be completely honest, and I don't think anybody would have cared really if you were just like, so this is how we we were told that we should donate the money to charity. It goes to me and Anissa, and then we donate it. And we can even, you know, like you, I don't know. Is there a way that you could have like proven that you donated it like on, I don't know. You don't even have to do that. I would have believed you. I don't know if everyone would have, but.
Thing that'll change your mind. I guess my only appeal is that year one, we made a bunch of money for charity, and I just got the fighters' pay like everyone else. And year two of the event.
Okay. So that 34% didn't go through you the first year?
We definitely got nothing. So yeah, having said all of this,
When was the 34% taken out though? Because we've only had two creator clashes. Was that the plan for Creator Clash 3? I'm saying like where I still feel like he's leaving something out.
I know that there's probably a lot of you out there who honestly don't care and you're just like, you want to see boxing or you just want to see regular videos. I get that. For my soul, I needed to communicate it. So yeah, that's a big relief for me
Okay.
to communicate it. So year one, we made a bunch of money for charity and I just got the fighters' pay like everyone else. And year two.
Okay. So he got the purse and the fighter's pay in the first year is what he's saying. I'm assuming maybe because he's saying that's what he kept. Got paid. Interesting. I think I maybe am possibly catching on.
Year two of the event, we definitely got nothing. So yeah, having
Okay, so year two of the event flopped and they didn't get shit. Period. So I would think that the 34% would have been enacted in Creator Clash 1. And that's how they donated to charity. I'm just assuming, I don't know. But based off of the timeline, that's the only thing that really makes sense to me right now. Is that was taken out and given to charity through them disingenuously. But I still believe it was given to charity, which is still a good thing. But that's interesting. And I notice how in this like timeline events he doesn't bring up the 34% for whatever reason. When does that come up, Ian? Would you please be more specific about that?
Having said all of this, I know that there's probably a lot of you out there who honestly don't care and you're just like, you want to see boxing or you just want to see regular videos. I get that. For my soul, I needed to communicate it. So yeah, that's a big relief.
Right. Like think about this. What is the average that are actually interested enough in boxing to invest in it? I think pretty low. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. I don't understand why they didn't just tack on $20 or $30 to the price of the tickets for charity. Yeah, I agree with that. That would have been a good idea. Um, then could have done all the things that they wanted to do. Yeah. Yep. I suppose, though, that they already didn't have the money to throw that party that they wanted to throw. I heard somebody also suggest that they make that a gala, but I think that they would have run into the problem of maybe not as many people showing up, like not as many famous faces as they wanted there. Famous in quotations, you know, YouTube famous. Um, so I think that, yeah, not as many people would have shown up if it wasn't free and they were expected to have to donate, you know. But that would have been great. Like they could have raised money for the clash itself, or they could have raised money for the charity through the gala, you know. But they, God forbid, they ask money from their friends. No, they want to ask money from their fans instead. Which is like, we don't mind giving it to you for a good. But I'm just questioning where the money was going, how much of it was going, you know. So let's. Mm-mm. Ooh. I think I'm gonna do 1.5 on this. Just because I want to cover like a lot of it, but not for very long.
Horizontal again. Maybe it will fix.
Yeah.
Oh,
If you go,
okay.
Or maybe it has rotate. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, there we go.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you. Thank you. There it is.
Thank you.
Harley, you here? Can you hear me?
Harley, you're muted.
I was talking on a muted microphone. Can you hear me?
Harley, everybody.
Hey.
We sure can, buddy.
Hey, yeah.
Now, Harley actually put me in touch with these guys. And so, how did you guys connect? Kind of Michael, Kate, and Harley. You guys were in touch, right?
Well, I know them from Creator Clash, actually. That's how I met them. And I never saw the clip, Michael, of you saying that you could beat up all the coaches. I'm telling my coach, we'll see about that. I don't know. He's not going as hard as you do every day, but I don't know.
I don't know. I've seen Michael. He's a beast.
They do have a cute dog. Ethan's gonna talk about their dog for a while. Okay.
Responsible for the event because she did put a lot of work in for the first event and she did put a lot of work in for the second, but at the same time in the first event she didn't get credit for it for several months, and then he started training again to fight Alex. Pretty much we started at like the end of December, and then that's when like they had to kind of get serious with the camp because they realized like Alex was training hard. So really I only had 10 months with him to begin with, and then about 4+ months with him for the second event, and then I've never seen him again since then.
You know, I was talking to AB. I think it was pretty normal that the boxers at least.
So he barely trained, is what he's saying. He trained him for both events, but Ian was only at, I think he said, well, it was so many months. It was 6 months, I think.
Or staff for me payment, but I declined it because I was like, just it's for charity. I'm good. But then they took that money that he generously forfeit, a guy who's not rich, by the way, and gave it to all the fucking creators. It's nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, we were also promised a bonus on CC1, and we never got it. But because Michael was so nice, he didn't want to, like, make Ian feel uncomfortable and ask Ian and Nisa about it. I was pretty upset by it, and I thought it wasn't fair because how is it that we put on this great event, we raised $1.3 million to charity, and he promised us a bonus, and then right after the event, he just kind of pretend like he's too busy to check in with us, you know? And then we...
Yeah, after the event, like, once the event ended, I didn't see him again for about 5 months. So, because he was working with Dax on some show, and so he never trained. So the only 8 times that Ian ever actually trained was, I trained him from July until May.
Gotta pay people, Ian. You gotta pay people, especially if you're not, especially if the charity event, which was your shield, which was your shield for not much, like, you're not giving any money to the charity event, you have to pay people. If it's out of your own pocket, you have to pay people. You have to. Come on, man. Jesus.
May, and then I didn't see him again pretty much.
Especially if they're promised certain wages, you have to pay them those wages. Am I going crazy? I had something very similar happen to me. Okay, dude. Like, I didn't know that you were able to just like, if I worked overtime, I'm not gonna say where this happened at because it doesn't matter. But if I work overtime somewhere, I didn't know you were able to like I work overtime for a week. I didn't know you could split that check into 2 weeks. That way you didn't have to pay me overtime for the first week. And then my shorter week on the first week, you put some of my overtime days from the second week on the first week so that you didn't have to pay me for overtime on the second week. I didn't know that you could do that kind of thing. I didn't know that you could just not pay people what you said you were going to pay them. Like, what is that? What is this? What is this?
Months, and then he started training again to fight Alex. Pretty much we started at like the end of December, and then that's when like they had to kind of get serious with the camp because they realized like Alex was training hard. So really I only had 10 months with him to begin with, and then about 4+ months with him for the second event, and then I've never seen him again since then.
I was talking to AB. I think it was pretty normal that the boxers at least gave their coaches a tip, especially because you were there. You weren't just working for him. You were helping everybody out. It seems like you guys were both like super involved in this event.
Yeah, one of the reasons he was even able to kind of connect with Manny Pacquiao's people who
That is a cute dog.
was like one of our connections.
Look how cute it is. Apparently it's an elderly dog. I have such a soft spot for elderly dogs. My puppy, he was my screensaver. He died at 22. I had him my entire life. I miss him very much. But I'm very grateful I had him for as long as I did. Anyway.
Our connections, our friend Eric ran into a guy in a bar in Vegas, and that was the guy they were supposed to get a hold of, but he was not reaching back to him. So we were able to get them connected with the people that connected them with Michael Leonardi. So we were literally there I was there from the beginning for everything.
So you guys had a really unique point of view where you had like a front row seat to everything. It seemed like you were with them intimately more than probably anyone else involved in this event. So there's all these interesting little details that you guys shared with me. For example, one being that I think it was you, Kate, that mentioned that he and Anissa did in fact pay for Hassan and all of his compatriots to travel to and stay at Creator Clash 2.
Yes.
Yeah, so they were talking about that long before, about how they had to fly in all these people. First of all, they rented the hotel for over 300 creators and flew a lot of them in. When the first year it was much more scaled back. We just had a couple floors of like some place, like a nice suite place, but it wasn't extravagant at all. And then the second year they did that full hotel for 300 creators. They flew a lot of people in. One of the people they flew in was Froggy Tonic, and they flew him in from France.
That's insane.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Why are you flying all those people out? They can afford their own tickets, and if they can't, then they don't. What? Don't do that. I mean, the party is one thing, but to pay for everybody's lodging and flights is just crazy. People that aren't in the fight, you're fighters, yeah. I don't even know if the fighters got. Oh, I think the fighters did, but the fighters' families weren't allowed to stay in the hotel. You're gonna pay for random people, random YouTubers, to sit in the stands for free, and then go to a party for free. You're gonna pay them, and then you're not gonna pay for the fighters' families to stay and watch their family members fight. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Insane.
And Froggy had told us that he was there to salvage the documentary.
Yeah.
And that was super offensive to us because we're like, what do you mean salvage the documentary? And he said his job was to go around and like film Anissa having interactions with everyone. So we didn't know if that meant they were going to make the second documentary about how, or the actual documentary about how like Anissa was responsible for the event, because she did put a lot of work in for the first event and she did put a lot of work in for the second. But at the same time,
They wanted a very biased person behind the camera. I'm sure it was why they made that decision.
in the first event, she didn't get credit for it, so she felt like she deserved all the credit. So I think that's why they paid Froggy Tonic to come film her and follow her around for the second event. But yeah, they flew in a lot of people. They rented out the whole hotel for 300 creators. And when we asked them if Ian's dad was going to be there, because he was there for the first event, they said they couldn't afford to fly Ian's dad in. It was too expensive.
Yeah, I know. It's pretty sad. And Froggy Tonic told
That's. I knew that one too, but I knew that was coming up, so I was just gonna let them say it. What the fuck? They couldn't afford to fly poor Ian's dad. Poor Ian's dad.
because I met him at the hotel, right, where we were all staying at in Tampa for CC2, and he was like, oh, you're the videographer that has all the content of Ian Sparring, and I said, yes, I'm super excited. I've been waiting for this documentary, but it never came out, so I heard that you're taking it over now and you're gonna help with the editing. And that's when Froggy Tonic told me that, yeah, Ian and Issa brought out his whole crew from France.
His whole crew?
I think it was just him.
Well, he had a few people that were holding the cameras, his camera guys, because the interesting thing was that usually when like someone is a videographer, they would be the one filming most of the time, but it was interesting to me that
He was just directing?
Yeah, he was more directing.
This fucking guy thinks he's Spielberg?
Scorsese.
What the hell's going on?
Camera people with him that were actually doing the work.
I don't remember that, but I do remember for a fact that he had told us that he was flown in to salvage the documentary. Anyway, so we were just offended by that because we were like, what do you mean salvage the documentary? And then him saying that he had no idea how to make the documentary for the first event. I had taken him from like 140 pounds as like never played a sport a day in his life. 10 months later, he ends up fighting Dr. Mike in front of over 10,000 people with 100,000 pay-per-view buys. And the fight itself was like a rocking moment. And then he literally took interviews with everyone before the fights, after the fights. He got all the coaches to interview. And then he said he had no way to make the documentary. So I was just like, how can you not make it?
Yeah.
AB made a documentary.
Everybody made a documentary.
AB, Harley, I was in their documentaries, but I wasn't in Ian's documentaries.
What the fuck?
Yeah, it's so sad to work on an event, like to work such a big event like
You
this.
guys are so invested. Yeah.
We're so invested.
And
Yeah.
it would always drive me crazy because I could tell Ian wasn't really proud of his work. So one of the big things is like it was very hard to get Ian to train because he doesn't like boxing. He doesn't like boxing.
Well, that seems
That's
to be
just
somewhat of a
Problem?
a sticking point.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Whenever I heard that for the first time that Ian just didn't like to box, I'm like, dude, what are you doing to yourself? Why do you make yourself miserable like this? Like, Ian really does look miserable. Like, um, thank you for speed ramping this. No problem. Not even his dad. No, his dad's not welcome. What was? Sorry, ow. Popped my knee. It hurt. Okay, maybe ticket prices would have gotten expensive to cover the cost of everything, but I think it would have been possible. Do you know what cost? I think they were $30. If you're asking how much the tickets were, strange. I think they were $30 for like GA, for like general admission. $30. Um. Yeah, and no problem. I know vaguely of where the important moments are. Let's see.
Yeah. So I would try to make the
Because
sessions
he's
as fun as
boxing,
possible.
just to be clear.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought it was $30. Oh, as of last sales. That's crazy. And that's when they're not that's when they're not for charity. They're more expensive. That's fucking insane. They're more expensive when you're not raising money for charity. They're like, yeah. So now that we've decided we're a for-profit event, the tickets will be going from $30 to $60. Allegedly. Like right when you said, yeah, moving the date, you could still get them for $60 only. Yeah. That's so crazy.
Just to be clear. Yeah.
Because like Strange said up here, Strange Mammal said just tacked on an extra $20 or $30 to the ticket price for charity. And it's like they didn't do that when it was for a charity event. They did it after the fact. Whenever it was a for-profit event that people were donating money to charity to. That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
doesn't-
but I think that's why it was as traumatic as it was for him as well, because he was dealing with like a lot of trauma and a lot of issues when we were in our boxing sessions. And don't get me wrong, that happens with a lot of fighters in general, because fighting.
Why did you start a whole boxing? Actually, I don't, like they say that it was all because of rice gum. Like that's why Ian hired this guy, and they went. The reason that Creator Clash even started is because rice gum was like, "I will fight you, like real life fight you. You want to fight? We can fight." And Anisa was like, fight him, yeah, show him. My boyfriend will fight you for sure." And Ian was like, "Uh, yeah, I'll fight you." And then he was like, but only if it's on my terms and it's, not a bare knuckle brawl. I don't think they did either. I think that it's been, for a while, it's been just full on publicity stunt. It hasn't been a for charity event for a very long time. My 100-pound mans will partake in fisticuffs. Fisticuffs. Yeah. Defend my honor, Ian.
Fighting's very hard. Whether you're fighting MMA, boxing, whatever, it's very hard because you're getting beat up constantly, and then you're supposed to show up to the gym the next day, and the next day, and the next day. AB can attest to it, right? So it's mentally very hard. So I did feel bad for him because I could tell his heart wasn't into it. So then to be into something like that your heart's not into, that's why I didn't see him once the first event ended. We didn't see him again for several months. And I told him, hey, come in once or twice a week, train for fun, make it fun for yourself. Because when you're in a fight camp,
This
it's not
guy
really fun.
seems like a good trainer. I mean, like, he seems like he tried to learn how to be gentler with Ian's. Bless his heart. So, this guy seems nice. And she is a fucking champion. She's a goddamn trooper. She's been through so much, and then she helps other children that have been or are in the situation that she was, and she was a child bride, and her story is very courageous.
It's not really fun. You just have to keep training.
Right.
But then he never came back, and then so I was like, oh wow, he really doesn't like.
She's fucking hilarious. She's so funny. She dog walks Ian throughout this entire thing. He's a professionally forced to work with a shitty sketch comic. I feel bad for the poor guy. Yeah, he doesn't, and Ian doesn't want to be there. So it's like, I'm sure that was miserable for both of them, you know. They did not know what the Oliver cost was going to be before they set the price. How did they mess up so bad? I don't know. That's what it's like, how did you not know? You didn't account for all of, like, the profit margins and where the money was going. You know what I mean? You didn't. Is there not an accountant? Do you not have an accountant for the company and for the event? Like, is there not a Creator Clash accountant? They're not somebody that, like, figures out where the funds are going to go beforehand. The fact that they were trading, and they were like, you're wondering why I'm so stressed? It's because we're $500,000 in the red, bitch. It's like, okay, first of all, calm down. Second of all, that sounds like your fault. And you were fully projecting. Yeah, she really did. She ate him up the whole time. She fucking...
He really doesn't like boxing.
No
And then he
mercy.
did an interview with,
Which is hilarious. She's so funny. I love her. She's true. Everything she's saying is true. So
Anthony, or the guy from Smosh, and he was talking about boxing, and I was just like, oh, he doesn't like boxing at all.
True to
He's,
herself.
Like, now, so he's talking about it. And then even in the video where he's trying to promote.
How do you even get 500K in the red? Like, girl, get a grip. I'm pretty sure it was like 500K or something like that they were already in the red before they. They'll say it here somewhere. It was 500K or 50K. Either way, I mean, that's a big difference. But I don't remember which one it was. But still, it's like, how do you not... Any sort of money, and you're already in the red before the event even happens? How does that happen? How? They are training. They are training. Yeah, it is. It is.
He's trying to promote Creator Clash.
Actual
3,
car crash.
He said, oh, all I have is 4K footage of me going, and it's like, that's called boxing training, Ian. That's
what boxing looks like.
Yeah, that's literally what you're doing. And then if you notice, after he walked out of the third event and stepped away, he goes, I'm through with
He's like, all I have videos is of me sweating and just punched in the air. He's like, okay, yeah, Ian, you're training. That's called training. It's like, I don't understand why these people want to film me getting my ass beat. It's like, that's the whole point.
I'm through with this boxing shit. I've been doing it for 4 years. And I was like, well, wait a minute. You trained for 10 months for the first fight. You took 6 months off. You trained 4 months for the second fight.
Claiming 4 years is crazy.
And then you never came back to boxing again for over a year. So I'm like, how are you sick of boxing? Like, you obviously hate boxing. So yeah, so it was hard for me as a coach to just get him to train. Also, like half of the sessions we'd have to train Anissa. So every session, instead of being just training for Ian for a fight, I would
I'm sorry I keep pausing. That was a crazy detail too, that he's been training Anissa essentially for free or something. Like he had been or for a very discounted cost, and she didn't even fight. And he's wasting time that he could have been training Ian,
I would have to take
who
half
had the main fight in the event.
of the session and train Anissa.
Whose idea was that?
Hers.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'd even, but the thing about it is Ian goes along with it, right? Because I feel like if Ian would have said, "Hey, no, I need the time to train," it might have been different. But he's just like, "Oh no, she needs to train before I train."
But she didn't even fight. She wasn't even fighting.
No, and so literally, in like the training footage.
Wasn't somebody supposed to fight Anissa, or did somebody say they wanted to fight Anissa? Who was that? God, I forget. They had somebody that it was like everybody
Half of the
wanted them to
sessions I
fight
had with
her.
them would be with her. And then she would come in with like all sorts of drama to the gym. One day she was super dramatic, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what happened?" And she related Will Smith slapping to Chris Rock to somehow Ian having to defend her online. So she was like super dramatic the whole day. And I'm like, I can't even train Ian today because she's so dramatic. So that was and everything. I had sweatpants. I'm like,
Oh, dude, that's so messed up. Why? It's like you're the guy connected with the event organizers, and they're explicitly excluding you guys.
So they didn't invite them to the gala for whatever reason, which is very snooty and like, why? What the fuck? And Anissa specifically did, which is like, I don't understand that. It's fucking rude. Um, he doesn't understand this yet. He just turned 32 and learned empathy. That's right. The poor little guy. He's accessing his feelings.
You guys.
I know why. I honestly believe that the reason why Ian and Nisa excluded us and did not want us to know about the gala is because we're both very professional, we're both very direct, and very transparent. If they told us that they were going to throw a huge gala after the fight and it was going to cost a ton of money, we would have asked them, why are you doing this?
Yeah,
because Anissa already told us, she shared with us prior to CC2, like a month.
He is. He's just a fragile little guy. Look at the Eeyore face. Like there's one frame that's pretty good. Whenever we need to remember how sad Ian is, I'm just gonna pull this. Look how sad he is. Look how sad this man is. I would say somebody help him, somebody save him, but I don't know if there's any helping or saving him at this point. So Ian's wife wanted to marry a millionaire, but now he's in debt. I'm so confused. Well, I guess that's something to her credit. She's still with him, even after but she was a big part of it. But he was too. Lost a lot of monies.
Like a month before, that they were negative, was it 500K already?
Yeah, at the
Whoa,
time,
whoa, hold on.
Yeah,
Say that again. Say that again.
they were negative 500K before the event.
Yes.
I was right. It was 500K. I was questioning myself because that is an obscene number. 500K in the red before it even started. How does that happen? How does that happen? Yeah, I give her that she's still with him. If she initially got with him for money, at least she's still with him to this day. That's a very low bar, but I'll give her that. I don't know. It's $500,000 before the event starts. What are you spending money on? That was before the party. Keep that in mind. Was that before they like decided to fly people out and shit? Because that was before the party. What was the money? Where did that money go? What was that for?
So going up to the event with the ticket sales and the PPV sales, when the event started, they knew they were down $500,000.
Yes.
Keep in mind that they moved to a bigger venue and they sold a lot of tickets. But before the event had started, they said we're fine. So the reason we found this out was because I wanted Ian to start doing 2 training sessions a
That's
day.
just crazy to me. $8,000 for 33 tickets at $60. In the grand scheme. Well, how big was the venue? And does that include like the fucking pay-per-view or whatever. Was it $60 then? I remember, I think it was the first Creator Clash. I'm remembering. I'm pretty sure the first Creator Clash was $30 for general admission. I could be completely wrong though. Could be completely wrong.
A day, and I said, Ian, you need to start doing 2-a-days. And he was like, why?
They're talking about the money that was raised for the second Creator Clash though. So I don't know how much the second Creator Clash the tickets were for that one. I have no idea. I'm pretty sure I looked at the tickets for that, like I wanted to go. So, but I'm glad I did not.
He was like, why should I do 2-a-days? And I told him, I was like, Ian, you're not good at boxing, man. My brand is at stake. So you need to do 2-a-days. That's what pro boxers do. And so I told
did you
him,
actually say that to him?
Yeah, yes. And then I told him, I said, my brand is on the line. I said, you can go back to YouTube. My whole life is fighting and coaching fighters. And I'm like, so if you don't have a good
I mean, he's being honest. I don't even think that's mean. He's just saying that like he's gonna fuck up his reputation. His whole reputation is boxing.
On me. After the first event, so for the first event, he didn't do any of his cardio. So that's why he ended up gassing out so bad. And I truthfully believe if he would have just done his freaking cardio, that he would have won that fight. But they couldn't do the cardio because 10 weeks before the first event, Anissa wanted them to buy a house. So instead of doing 2 training sessions a day at that point, they had to cut
I can't believe they didn't invite them to the event. That's very fucking pompous and annoying to me. The reason I skipped over it in this section is because they bring it back up later. Because it's fucking...
go look to buy a house. And he moved into his new house.
I would bring that shit up too. That would piss me off.
Florida. So he literally wasn't training like he was supposed to for that whole first event because they wanted to go buy a house when they could have just rented a place for 6 months or a year, and then Ian could have focused on the fight, had the fight, and then found a new place. So I found that super offensive. I'm like, you're not doing anything I'm telling you. And they would lie to me, and he'd tell me he was doing his road work.
He would lie? Why would he lie? That's like lying to your doctor.
It made no sense because he acted like I told him to do things because I wanted him to do them, and I really wanted him to do things because that would help him win the fight.
Yeah.
So when I tell him, hey, you need to do this, he'd be like, and then not really do it. He didn't realize how important cardio was until the second fight.
What do you mean he didn't realize how important cardio is? That's like the entire...
I know Ian is like a grown-ass man. But seriously, some things, when I hear about things, like how he responds to things, or even see him, he reminds me of like, you know, those kids in high school that were just kind of like, I mean, yeah, they were nerds and not even nerds. Nerds is like a compliment. They were nerdy, like in cool ways, but like that really has nothing to do with like what I'm talking about. I mean, some of them were and some of them weren't. But God, I'm trying to find the best way to describe him. They were just he just seems very immature, like the kid that would lie about, I don't know, just lie in school about like the craziest shit, like said that he had like a girlfriend from somewhere else and like just you know what I mean? He just seems very, you know, I don't know. And he's a grown man, but he really does remind me of those kids.
Entire thing. Yeah, that's everything. That's the whole
I'm
thing.
not even being like mean. I don't know how to describe it though. He just gives me a very certain vibe, and it's on the tip of my tongue. It's gonna drive me insane.
Well, you know, hearing all this, strikes me as ironic because he was always, and Anissa, going on about how they hold boxing in such high esteem, and they want everyone to train, and this is life or death. This is serious. You get in the ring, and people die in the ring, and hearing him speak so loftily and respectfully about boxing.
It's like the kids that always. I have a very good example. It's like the kids that either, like had a small internship somewhere, like a law firm or something. Had like, or they worked at like the fire department and got like the firefighters pizza. You know what I mean? Like it was like the volunteer firefighters. That's like they didn't want to put in any of the work, you know, but they would be okay with going and getting these guys pizza because they could like strap on the valor and go to school. You know what I mean? That's what Ian reminds me of. He reminds me of those guys.
But then he's like, oh yeah, no, I lied to my trainer about running. It's like, what?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of that was them regurgitating what I would say. A lot of it, when I would tell them things about boxing, they would go repeat those things. I don't know how much of it was like them actually believing it. But so for that second event, so I tell him he needs to do 2-a-days. This is like 2 weeks before the fight. I'm like, we need to do your
Mike from PA also reminds me of one of those guys.
2-a-days. And I said, my brand is at stake. Well, he went and told Anissa that I told him my friend was at
Ian
stake.
is like the edgier one. You know what I mean? Like he's a little edgier, even though he's not so much anymore. I don't know. I still feel like he's edgy in a different way now. He's like trying. He's trying to keep his goth babe, I think, is the aesthetic that he's going for. So
Friend was at stake. So the next day she comes into the gym super mad, and she's
I'm
like,
sorry. I'm gonna keep using high school analogies for Ian because it's all I can see now.
our brand is at stake. We're $500,000 in the hole right now.
I wish I knew that. I wish I knew that at that time. I think a lot of the fighters would have liked to have known that. I don't think
I'm sure everybody would
none of
have.
them needed to be in the dark about that, you know?
Yeah, no, they shouldn't have kept anybody in the dark about being $500,000 in the red before the event. That is batshit.
Yes, completely. Well, and that's the thing. They said you guys didn't promote enough, but they weren't honest about the fact that they were spending the money from the ticket sales on the hotel, on flying people in, on all these other things. So it was just like,
Okay, so they had already bought the hotel and on flying people in. That's what it was. That's how they got. So this was before they had planned the party, and then they were like, "We should do since we have everybody in town."
the gala decisions were made while in the red.
yes.
I have a
No
question
shot.
about that.
So she was like, we're already down 500,000, and she still had time to cancel stuff when she said that. Like, how before the event was
Oh,
that?
yeah. I mean, it was 2 weeks. It was 2 weeks before the event. I mean, they
So
knew
she
they
could
were
have made some
500K
last
in
minute
the hole.
moves. Yeah.
They knew they were 500K in the hole long before that, right? That's just when they yelled at us about it.
Yeah.
So they could have definitely made moves to reduce spending.
We wanted that award show so bad the next day. They really, really wanted to have that award show so she could give out awards. Once again, you had heard like Ian said he didn't want to have the fight just end and have everybody go home the next day.
He said, I'll quote him because it's very rich. He says that the first time afterwards, he woke up and everybody was gone. And he found it super depressing because he didn't get a chance to process his trauma, which seems a little bit hyperbolic, frankly, if I'm being honest. I mean, it's like a self-inflicted charity event. I wouldn't call that exactly a trauma. I wouldn't put that up with like maybe like fighting in a war. I don't know. But but I guess we all define trauma differently. But so he goes, so in that case, I wanted to throw a party afterwards where we could all talk to each other and process our trauma. And then he says,
Okay, but like it wasn't for the fighters though, really. I mean, it was. The fighters were there, but it was more for like the other influencers and for you to smooze with the other influencers.
we lost money, but I don't regret throwing the after party.
Yeah,
I think that was a lot of
Because it was fun as fuck. You know, I had a blast, and all my friends were there.
her words. Because like
It's all about me, dude. I had fun. What the fuck does it matter? Fuck the charity.
he would say things that she would say. And so for example, he said, well, we thought inviting
That does
Hassan
sound like an Anissa take.
and all those other people was going to translate to more buys, pay-per-view buys.
And they didn't even promote. They didn't even care.
No, it made no sense to me. I'm like, people don't watch fights because Denzel Washington's in the crowd. They're not
Right.
like, Denzel Washington's there. I need to watch the fight.
Right.
Like,
This
it
is
makes
what I
no
was talking about earlier.
sense. And if they would have talked, so a lot of decisions before the first event, they like spoke with us about, because I know boxing. I've been around boxing my entire life. So I'm like, oh, I could help them with all these other things. And then for the second event, I felt like they wanted to make it much more like their own version of a TwitchCon, their own version of a VidCon.
That's what he said, yeah.
She said that she wanted to be like a VidCon.
Jump scare.
We are new to the YouTube world.
Jump scare.
Like we never been to VidCon, and she's like, you guys haven't been before, but it's super cool where all these famous YouTubers come and everybody gets to vibe out.
Then
and so
just go to VidCon.
just like, is
Vibe
it
out.
like Comic-Con?
Yeah, he was really mad the first year that like, because she would always talk about a certain group of people. It was like somebody named Pokimane and all these other people, and she would always talk about how she wants like them to be there and she wants to be a part of their group. So a lot of it, and then so that's why like, and then the first year was like during that girl's birthday party. So
No, sorry. Knowing that detail, it breaks my heart that she had to settle for denims.
Yeah. I don't even know these people, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only people I really know in the YouTube world is you guys, because you guys were so nice to us. Like, we got more clout from being on your show than we ever did from working with Ian, because he would never show any of the work we did. He would never, and then everybody else, it drove me crazy. Like, AB would shout out his coach, Wale, Lucky Boy, and then
AB was all about it, man. And you know, the coaches deserve a lot of credit for what you, especially you guys who were involved with the freaking event, the management of the whole event, you know.
Right. Yeah. Mike Leonardi even said after the second event ended, when it was just him and I talking, and Mike Leonardi was like, man,
Trace, it's your boxing coach, okay? Get in line, bitch. You know what I mean? Go fucking wake up and run. Think about, you remember Mike Tyson's coach, this like grumpy, insane old man. Like, this is who you want to fucking coach you, dude. What are you talking about?
I didn't see the podcast you're talking about, but
He
yeah,
goes on Anthony Padilla. I've seen that podcast. He goes on Anthony Padilla, and he basically says that Michael was being like a toxic male. And then he like fluffed it up and made it better. He did.
Michael I felt so loving compared to when I was
Yeah,
fighting with Wally.
it sounds like
Wally used to
Wally.
tell me you can punch me in my sleep and I won't blink. Yeah.
That's the thing, right? I actually had to learn how to talk to Ian from training because during one of the sessions when he wasn't supposed to spar, but then he ended up going to spar Alex Stearns one day.
Oh, I want to ask you about that.
Oh, it was hilarious. It was funny to me because we weren't supposed to spar that day. Actually, it was the morning that he released the Sam High documentary.
Yeah.
So I had no idea he had so much going on because I didn't even know what the documentary was.
We didn't know who anybody was.
Anybody. I just want to control. I want to focus on the fight, right? So he releases the documentary, but we're in LA. We're visiting gyms.
For
and
your,
we're supposed to watch.
your podcast.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's for that. But we wanted to watch Alex Stearns train. So we go to Alex Stearns.
I wonder if he regrets the content cop like he regrets the Sam documentary. He should regret the Sam documentary. That's crazy. I can't get over it. So it was how many? I wonder how many seats were in. What was the venue? Sorry. Okay. What is your seat though? What is your seat though? Oh my god. Son of a gun, dude. Okay. $10,000. So then that's only so that leaves like what 2,000 tickets to be sold. Did they think that they were gonna make up the money that they had lost with the remaining 2,000 tickets? Where did they think that money was gonna come from?
Gym, and the coach of the head guy of the gym, the owner, says that he doesn't believe women should fight. So Anissa gets really upset and decides she wants to. The owner of the gym said that.
The owner
Okay.
of
Okay.
So Anissa got so offended that she said Ian needs to spar now today, and we're like, and then so
He
and
sent
I'm
her,
like,
man, to get slaughtered by Alex Ernst, who's like some kind of like boxing savant or something. He fucking annihilated him.
I
Dude.
feel like she does that a lot to him. You guys want to remember what sad Ian looks like? Look how sad he is.
Yeah.
So what happened was it was
Old Eeyore Ian.
funny because Alex has really thick glasses, so he took his glasses off and he can't see anything. So he just starts swinging haymakers.
Oh, he couldn't even see.
Oh no, but Ian like.
Oh no,
And so-
he just said no so much. Of course not, though.
For the filming, so before they did the sparring, Anissa and Ian runs up to me and they're like, Kate, make sure you film this because we want to put on our YouTube channel how does in the documentary, how does 3 weeks of training look like and 3 months of training look like? Because Ian at that time had been training for 3 months with us. And so I filmed
And
it.
Alex 3 weeks. He just started.
Yeah. Well, and the thing was, skill-wise, Ian was much better. Ian wasn't just used to somebody throwing haymakers. And so Alex comes out and just starts hitting him with haymakers. And the first 2 rounds, I was talking to him very softly. I was like, Ian, are you okay? Can you throw punches? If you can't throw punches, I'm going to scrap this sparring because you're not throwing any punches. And then he's like, no, I'm fine. And then 2 rounds later, then I'm like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that?
Ian said that this guy, when he was during this spar, he made him feel like he was being yelled at by his papa, by his dad.
And then he went on the Smosh show and he was like, yeah, it's bad enough when you get beat up and your coach is yelling at you
Shut
too.
up, dude.
I swear. Yeah.
Dude, listen to the audio of any corner. That's how the corner's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
Throw a punch, man.
Yes.
Oh, here,
Yes.
I have the reference here. Let's watch it.
Alex is a freak of nature, I gotta say.
The way.
I remember watching that, and everyone was like, what was that? Because he got it. It seemed everybody could tell he got pretty rattled by that fight.
Oh yeah.
Did you say? And I'm gonna. Did you say he cried?
Oh, we had to have a meeting.
Yeah. So after that, so he was crying at the gym afterwards, and I said, and once again, I hate to hate on him for that because it's very emotional.
Yeah,
when
for
you
sure.
It's some hard sparring, right?
Yeah.
So I don't. But
That
then
is
what
fair.
happened-
Yeah, that's fair.
and afterwards was horrible because then we went back to the hotel
I'm sure,
and then we
and
were
I'm
eating
sure
at Denny's,
his,
and they said we need to have a meeting, so I have to go to
I'm sure his face hurted. I'm sure he was hurting.
Denny's, and they pretty much then talked about how they were going to have to fire me because I reminded Ian of his father when his father would yell at him as a kid. And so
That's so crazy.
I had to relearn how to talk to him. And at the time, I didn't
You
even mind because
kind
I'm
of
like, as
know
a
we can say that. That's crazy.
coach, I need to learn how to talk to different fighters anyways. Like, communication is the most important
That
thing.
feels
One
like
of the
unprofessional in a way. You know what I mean?
most important things as a coach. So
Yeah.
I was trying to turn it into a positive, but it definitely was.
But
He almost got fired at Denny's.
Yeah, exactly. After that sparring session. But
I
not
almost
only
farted
that,
at Denny's.
yeah, Michael and I rewatched the sparring, right, with him and Alex Stearns, and you could clearly hear that Anissa was screaming louder than Michael.
Yeah, so he was literally yelling at him worse than I was. But I was like, but apparently I was the one that I yelled at him and he froze.
It triggered him and he thought of his dad. That's what she said.
So we have to deal with things like that all the time where it was like, he wasn't even supposed to spar that day. Like, I'm like, what the hell
He
is
didn't
going
have a
on?
mouthpiece.
He didn't
He didn't have a mouthpiece, so they had to buy a $20 mouthpiece from the gym and put it in the microwave. It didn't even fit. It was
So
ridiculous.
when you plan to spar like that, you want to prep. You don't want to just go into it.
You want to be, like, ask AB, you want to be mentally prepared for a sparring day.
Okay, because it's yeah. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
my first sparring day, like it was so fucking bad. Like when I left and I came back, Wally started jumping all around the gym. He's like, I never thought I'd see you again. He goes, okay, the fact that you came back, he's like, now I'm in.
Holy shit.
Around concussions my whole life, and nobody's like, that was a minor, that was a major, you know? And so I was like, well, if you had 2 majors, that would mean you were like completely unconscious. And she said she got them from like lacrosse and hockey. So I'm like, you're telling me that you got knocked out completely?
Anissa said that she got concussions. Many concussions.
Completely unconscious on the field.
2 majors. Is that what she said? Yeah, she would have not been conscious.
And then a few weeks later, they're like, put her back on the field. I'm like, that makes 0 sense to me. Like,
She's a liar. I mean, she does lie. She lies about everything, it seems like.
Yes.
yeah, I just don't. And also, like, literally 2 majors. If she said she has 13, 11 minors and 2 majors, 2 majors would mean like you were completely unconscious. And
That's a lot of head trauma. You know what's
Yeah.
ironic? Ian acts like that's what happened to him. You know,
Yeah.
but at
Burn.
least she seems more in control than ever.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
She,
Well,
yeah, master.
It's odd, and that's why like I felt so bad because you could see. So the 2 of the best weeks, or one of the best weeks we had in training, was when she had to go visit her family in Canada, and then that was when Ian invited his sparring partners to the gala. I wasn't a part of that, but he went out and did like
We took him out
one
to
of our-
hot and cold plunge.
yeah, one of the guys that runs the gym. So first of all, the gym that we're out of is this guy Luca Hosever's gym, and it's called Vigor Ground Athletics. And he was the one that did their programming in the beginning. And when they went on some show and they were like, Ian, how did you gain all this weight? She was like, oh, I studied kinesiology.
That's
and I'm like,
crazy.
wait. I'm like, how did you study kinesiology to gain weight? Like, that makes no sense. Because in reality, it was Luca that was writing their programming for him, but they never wanted to give him a shout out. And that's when we realized they don't want to give anybody a shout out. Like, they would never give me a shout out. They would never give Luca a shout out. Randomly enough, I guess occasionally they would give Mike Leonardi one.
Yeah,
But
because
otherwise,
she's the manager and
They
she
give
has your
this guy
following.
one.
Unless you have a big following, she's not gonna give you a shout out.
Okay.
She'll just suck the blood out of you and go away.
Do you think Anissa's the one calling the shots, though?
Oh, 100%.
I do, but it is also Ian that allows it to happen.
He enjoys it. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Wow.
He feels sorry for
Enjoys
Ian
it.
because-
What is
yes,
happening with them?
Yes, he enjoys it. We used to feel sorry for him.
I did.
Yeah, we
All
both
the
did.
time.
We both did. Michael felt sorry for him up until CC2. After CC1, I cut that shit off because I was like, you know what? She's a fucking liar, and he's a liar, and he enjoys all the punishment that she gives him.
Yeah.
So what is he?
She
I love her.
said that after she did that first interview, and I'm always like, I always want the best for my clients. So I'm like, no, that's not true.
Yeah.
Things are gonna work out.
I
They're gonna
see
give
you, girl. I see you.
shout out. He's gonna make this documentary, like all these. And she's like, they're never gonna give you the credit, you know. And I was always
Yeah,
like, oh, and in my mind, I'm like, no, like I love Ian, I trust Ian. I feel like Ian's got like my best interest at heart too. But then he didn't. The time that I actually was finally fully fed up was when I had to ask them about the gala, and we were already in Florida. And I'm like, this is the last straw. Like,
Yeah.
you don't even. She's like, you guys don't have to be there. We didn't like. She was practically telling us she didn't want us there.
Disrespectful.
Crazy.
Respectful.
For no
So,
reason.
Yeah, and the reason why I also want to say the reason why like Michael and I we were waiting for them to tell us about the gala, but they never did. So they waited so long. We got to Florida. We were 2 weeks away from the event, and they still haven't said anything to us. And at this time, all of Ian's sparring partners, there was probably like 4 or 5 of them that flew out, or I think 6 in total, flew out from Washington, paid for their own flights, their own hotel, and they're all coming there to support Ian. And they all have been helping Ian throughout his fight camp, right? And so they're asking us about the gala. We don't know about it, so we were afraid that if all his teammates showed up, they might not be able to get into the gala. How embarrassing would that be if his teammates are not able to get into the gala because she doesn't want them to be part of it?
Also-
So that's why we asked her directly, and that's when she told us about the negative 500K. That's when she told us
Oh my
about why
God.
would we want to be there.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
Also, all of his sparring partners paid for themselves to be there.
Correct.
Nobody, like, they would give him tickets to the event, but they didn't help anybody else get there. That was a part of his team, other than Kate and I. So,
Yeah.
otherwise, like, none of the, like, if you're throwing the event and you have all these sparring partners and training partners, I
That
would think you would
is-
invite them before, like,
Yeah,
300
that is insanely fucking fucked up.
creators that don't mean anything to you.
100%. Yeah, you gotta think about the time that when they're sparring, you know, all the his teammates that volunteer their time, they're sparring for free. They're taking time from their work, their family to come and contribute. They don't do this because, oh, they're obsessed with Ian. They do this because they have loyalty to me and Michael and how we have helped them, and that's why they show up to spar with Ian. And all he does is look the other way when Anissa says and invite them. You know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. It's disgusting. I can't. All we have to show is our hard work, and there's no way that I'm going to let Ian and Anissa take that away from us.
That's crazy. What do you make
do
of
you
the?
guys know-
Oh, go ahead, Arlie.
Did you guys hear anything or know about how they chose the performers for the gala? The people that they put, there was a couple performers there that I was just curious if you guys had any insight on who they were or what the
Are you
connection
talking about
was.
like the comedians or who you
Comedian and singer.
Right.
So
No,
who, there's this comedian that was allegedly paid $20,000 or something.
Yeah. So for the first event, we were a part of like a lot of those decisions. But for the second event, like I said, they kept us in the dark about the gala. Really, like it was my main responsibility to help with one, Ian's training, but also make sure like everybody else had legit coaches.
So
and
that was after they were $500,000 in the red. They hired a $20,000 comedian.
help like because for the first event, I helped train a lot of the people. I probably helped train like 80.
Why would you do that? Are you just fiscally the most irresponsible person in existence? You absolutely have to be. If there's people that we can give that cap or that crown to, I nominate Ian and Anissa Jama officially. So
that 90% of the people that
Yeah,
follow
like
us
Eric
are-
came to
for
us
the
for
most
2
financially dumb people in existence.
weeks to train with you. Remember?
That was another thing that actually upset me was like comment etiquette Eric. Like I love that
They
guy,
are financially illiterate.
but he only was able to train for the last 17 days of the fight because he was originally supposed to fight Chad, I believe. But then when Chad backed out, they were like, "Oh, we need to find."
Ethan, Hassan, Destiny.
Somebody, and so they found DJ Welch, and
That
I
guy's a
thought,
beast.
they told us he was out of shape and
That
had
guy's
no
a monster. By the way, super nice guy. That guy's great.
Huge
Both of
arms.
those guys
Huge
are amazing
arms.
dudes. Yeah.
He was great, but
He's a
imagine
beast.
somebody telling you this guy has no experience. That's why Eric and him had headgear on, and that was another thing I got blamed for. They're like, "Look at how bad this coach is. Look at Eric." I'm like, "Dude,
That's
I had 17 days. Me and Eric just tried to make it fun because the whole time he was like, DJ's out of shape. DJ, we're just gonna have fun."
And-
Man, DJ came out and whooped his ass. I was like,
I'm not sure I understand the context, is why I responded like that. So, excuse me. Oh, I did. Did mean to write that. I can change it. Must have been in a hurry. I will check it and fix it.
He's jacked. He's like actually
He's
jacked.
huge
I was
arms,
like,
bro.
this is not fair at all.
And DJ fought formerly. Well, he's been training MMA for a very long time. Yeah.
They
Oh,
were
he's
like,
a fighter
yeah.
too?
Yeah, yeah. They
Jesus.
go,
Ethan, Hassan, Destiny.
So
I
what
see.
is that? Are they lying to you guys on purpose?
I don't know.
So they were like, well, they didn't even tell us really any of that stuff because a lot of it they like tried to find on their own when it was last minute stuff. So for example, like when Matt fought
I will fix it later.
Dad,
I'm not worried
like
about
they
it.
almost canceled that like 20 times. Because Matt was-
Oftentimes, people like to come and point things out when they're misspelled, so it only helps engagement. I'm actually not that worried about it. But in case you're wondering, no, it was not on purpose, and I take full. Yeah, I'll take full criticisms for that. I was in a hurry and probably fucked up the thumbnail and the title. I don't know, or one or the other. Probably both.
times because Matt was never training for the event.
That's so
they kept
interesting.
Almost, and they would, they would be like,
It's crazy. I would have never known watching it.
Well, what happened too, I almost don't blame Matt, except like Ryan found a good coach, or a coach, right? So I don't know why Matt couldn't have. But Matt's coach would tell him that they just want to do all this pad work, this like random pad work, and then they would say, but don't do any road work, don't run at all. And then when they found out that it was a real event and there was gonna be 10,000 people there, they
What?
fucking disappeared.
What did they disappeared?
Disappeared on him. Just straight disappeared on him. Like they
Was
were
that-
taking all of his money until they found out it was a real event.
If you say that I'm covering those people too much, I have other stuff that I'm gonna cover. You can come back for those streams if you want.
I think a lot of people
But you don't have
were
to.
shocked that it was a real event because like we were going to these places like with no clue of what we were going to have happen. So we're like, hey, this is what's so crazy is like he could have told the story if he would have been proud of it. Like the story was amazing. We're going to these boxing gyms in LA and all over the place, and we're like, hey, we want to throw a YouTube boxing event. They're like, where? We're like, we don't know. They're like, when? When? We're like, we don't know, but we're going to do it. And they were like, get out of here. You know, it was like it made no sense. And so I was almost like, hey guys, maybe we should let me talk to some of these people before, because like they would just have these awkward ass conversations in all these boxing gyms. And but so a lot of the people that ended up getting hired, like I don't know if Lucky even thought it was a real event when he was training AB, or they didn't know how big it was going to be. You know?
Right. Well, AB knows. Oh, did you know? I don't know.
My gym, like they wild card, they don't fuck around. Like supposedly they even kicked Jake Paul out before. Like they're very serious
what?
about boxing. I don't think they care like how big the event was. Yeah, I think even Ian like added Wale on Instagram. I don't think Wale followed him back. Like, he's like, I don't know that motherfucker. So I mean, he likes
that guy
Ian,
is
but
something
yeah,
else.
he's not in it for any clout.
Holy shit. Now I want to ask you something. It's alleged by Anissa herself that Ian has both bad breath and he shits in his pants frequently. Do you have any data on that? Having been in close proximity with him?
No.
So I don't want to just talk shit about him, but like there would be times, for example, before the first event, where he was talking about getting tonsil stones, and he was saying he was going to get strep throat because he had tonsil stones. And I said, Ian, tonsil stones don't cause strep throat. Tonsil stones are because you're not brushing your fucking teeth. And so he was like, oh, okay, hygiene. And I'm like, yeah, fool, like you need to brush your teeth. And he's like,
wait, hold on, that shouldn't be something you need to hear from your boxing coach. Brush your teeth. That's something. See, that's knowledge he should have come to you with.
Yeah. He was worried about getting sick. Like, so, yeah.
So was it Create Flash 1 or 2 where Anissa sent us? It was a day of training for one of the CC 1 or 2. I can't remember which one. And she sent us a photo of his tongue. And she said, oh, I think he might have like bad breath and it's causing.
No, wait, she said tonsil stones.
Hold on. Go back. Why did she send you a picture of his tongue?
They thought it would show
So I did spell it right in my other one.
us that he was going to get strep throat.
Yeah, so he couldn't.
And I'm like, because they were trying to say he's going to get sick before the event. And it can happen if you train too hard before an event. You run your immune system down, so then you can get sick. But we weren't training too hard for him to get sick.
Yeah.
So like they wanted him to gain weight, and I kept telling him, like, there's ways we can gain weight right before weigh-in. So I want you at like a healthy weight because they wanted him to be 188 for the Dr. Mike fight. So the Sunday before the fight, Anissa makes him eat all this shitty food. So the Monday before the fight, he couldn't even do 2 rounds of pads in the ring without almost throwing up. So I'm fighting this. I'm like, what the hell? Like, why are you doing this? I was like, so there's a coach named like Mike Quick Flores, and he's amazing, and his fighters loved him. They helped him start a damn YouTube channel. They bought him cameras. They helped him start a YouTube channel. They did all this stuff for him. And like one of his fighters was like James Owen's out. That got knocked out in like freaking 30 seconds, and he still loves training with the coach. So I'm like, how does somebody that get knocked out in 30 seconds have such a close relationship with his coach? And I like went to hell with Ian.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I got punched.
I know it's not a why. I don't know why it did that. Oops. Both times too. I copy and so I copy and pasted it from one and made a mistake. I will fix it right now.
I got punched
Thank you.
out of the ring, and that never happened. And I love my boxing coach.
Yeah,
That was pretty awesome, by the way, Harley. That was a great moment.
That was one of the best parts of it for me was one, meeting people like Harley AB, but also like networking with those coaches, right? Like Harley's coach Jesse Thompson is amazing. Like he's an amazing guy. He's amazing human. He's amazing father.
Yes.
All the
Can I
coaches that
fix
we
it
work
right
with
now?
there, Coach Rick at his gym in Florida, like we love them like they were our Florida family. But then Ian and Anissa would just kind of use them. They didn't even know whose promoter's license we used until like 2 weeks before the second event.
Yes.
So
I told her while the promoter was there, because that's actually his gym that we're training out of, right? He's part owner. And so I told Anissa that that's actually Ryan Ricky. He's actually the fight promoter we're using his license to throw the events in Florida, you know? And she was like, oh my gosh, really? How did I miss this the first time around? And I'm just like, I don't know, maybe because you don't care about anybody that doesn't have a huge following. And so right away she went and followed him and then started tagging him. It's just ridiculous. So
we were like, how did you, because they didn't want to take time to get to know the boxing community.
Yeah.
She acted like she was better than the boxing community.
Yes.
We were in a boxing gym called Top Rank one time, and there was a guy named Jay Prince who was like the manager for Floyd Mayweather, manager for Andre Ward, all these very high level boxers. So for me, that's a big deal. And the owner of the gym was kind enough to introduce us, and she was like, no, I don't want to meet him. Ian's tired. You don't want to meet him.
Wait, I don't want to meet him because of what?
Yeah.
Ian was tired.
Yes.
She would tell Ian when he was tired. One time we ended sparring, and afterwards everybody's hanging out, and she walks up to Ian and she goes, "You're hungry."
Yes.
And then so they had to leave because Ian was hungry. So she tells Ian when he was hungry.
That's a toxic trait.
We're like, what the hell?
So,
In case you were wondering if I was still paying attention.
what is this?
It's nonsense.
Do you think that he walks around in a gimp suit at their home? No, I'm genuinely wondering. Do you know, does he just sit there? Does he sit there as a chair in a gimp leather suit and she just sits on him? I mean, where does this go? By the way, there's this clip here I want to watch. I've been having it on standby. It's when you referenced the toxic masculinity comment aimed towards you. Let me see.
Boxing. Oh, you don't have time.
I think I have to do it after. But I'll fix the thumbnail too.
To do anything.
There's even an L. That's silly. How did I do that?
There's just like a lot of things that I've had to learn along the way. Like my coach is a tough ass guy. You know, he's got a little of the toxic male qualities, and it's made it hard sometimes because.
Shut the fuck up, dude.
Yep.
Like, dude, please. Like, I don't understand. You were literally made videos with Filthy Frank, okay? And now you're like, I can't. He was a little toxic, and it made it hard for me. It's like, shut the fuck.
I've learned my lesson. I won't try to go Red Bull and violently type. I probably fucked up the description too because I was in a hurry with that.
Up, dude.
Yeah,
And by the way, compared to all the other coaches that I know, you came off seeming like super nice and like not pushy. Yeah.
I know how to be soft with certain people, and then I'll be harder with other people. But if they can't, the sport's already so hard to begin with. This is one of the things I've been involved in fighting for over 25 years. So you shouldn't have even been on the ox in the first place. Like you shouldn't be at somebody else's gym and
Okay, so Anissa took over the gym ox.
Also, there's a lot of risk when you go out to fight.
Right.
This is not what podcasts are.
Dude, please. That's only because they're talking about you. It's so obvious.
He said, "Oh my bad."
Sorry, guys. He keeps interrupting. Let me continue this clip.
Male qualities,
Back a little bit.
and it's made it hard sometimes because
That doesn't
I
matter.
mean, in the right moment.
In the
not
right
at the
moment,
gym.
sure, yeah.
It's not fair to all the other gym members that they have to listen to her music. By the way, this is a very big gym. I think it's like how many square feet? 4,000?
Yeah, 4,000.
4,000 to 5,000 square feet, okay? And there's multiple facilities inside this gym. There's a Fit Bar Cafe. There's a physical therapist office inside that gym. The Seawolves also train out of that gym, okay? They used to, but you know, so other people use this space, and she just wants to control the music. That's so unprofessional. It's not allowed, and it's not fair to the other members.
So she
And
got
we don't
banned.
allow somebody else to
Well, I can definitely do this one right here. I'll just do it in front of you. Fuck it. How did we do that? How did I do that? That's crazy. I fixed it, right? Yep. Whoopsie. I'll fix the thumbnail. There you go. What's my overall opinion on Ethan? I think that he has, like, I think there are some very fair criticisms that have been thrown. I mean, in terms of, like, the random people. Should that random person on Instagram said that Gila should go to hell for having a Star of David tattoo? Probably not. Should Ethan have doxed him? Also no. Do I think that Ethan's kids, or do I think that somebody should have illegally called CPS on Ethan's kids? No. Do I think that Ethan had shit in his house? No, I do not. Do I think that Ethan has a lot of money to pay people to clean his house? Yes, I do. So, is that helpful? I don't know if that's helpful.
do that.
Yeah, no.
But I like the H3 podcast. I think it's funny. I think there's certain things that Ethan does that you could definitely criticize him for. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think that there's definitely some things that you could criticize Ethan for. But I also think that he is is a victim of harassment, and like people sent skulls to his house. You know what I mean? Like he's definitely, yeah. So I'm glad that we're on the same page. I don't think it's an unreasonable take.
Do that.
Yeah, no, I don't allow my other fighters to come in.
No, that's insane. Who the fuck changes the music for the whole ass gym?
Well, she did, and then she threw a fit about it and cried about it, and we had to and I had to talk to her about it the next
So wait,
day.
what happened? Tell me what happened.
So she ended up leaving. We were supposed to actually do her pad session, but then she left.
She cried.
And she had to go out to her car. I mean, I don't want to talk about how.
To be honest, which is a weird thing that happened and developed like since I've been covering more H3 content, I'm still a fan of H3. It's opened my eyes though a lot to a lot of that he has. And or criticisms against him, excuse me. And so because I try to remain open and like I talk to, chat and everything. So I think that I have, I still believe that essentially in what I always have, that that nobody should have called CPS about his kids, and that really his overall, that he might have said, I don't think that I'm educated enough to say whether those things were offensive. Also, it's not me to say what's offensive or not when it comes to if somebody felt that what Ethan said was Arab phobic, I don't feel like it's my place to say it wasn't. You know what I mean? So yeah. But in terms of like actually like supporting the IDF and Israel and like them committing genocide, I don't think he's done that. I think that he might not be as harsh as a critic as people would want him to be, simply because his wife has family there. Yeah, I don't know. I think that he can have what have you felt about his constant accusations of anti-Semitism at pro-Palestinian voices? I think that I don't know. I don't know if they are all the most valid. I think that Ethan I don't know if crashing out's the right term for it, but I think that he is under immense amounts of stress. And not that it's an excuse, but I think that that makes him overanalyze and trump things up a lot more than they should be, and he works himself up, and then yeah, and then says things about pro-Palestinian activists that he probably shouldn't, because he has a personal problem with those activists, not because he has a problem with their movement, I don't think. And I think that it can get in the way of their movement, which is very unfortunate, because their movement's very important. He's lashing out in inappropriate ways. I agree with that completely. But Ethan is essentially the most pro-Palestinian Jew that one could possibly imagine. Those wishing for him to be even more pro-Pal are wild and essentially want him to be a fifth column freezer. I think that he is pro-Palestinian. I don't think that. I mean, you don't think that he's pro-Palestinian? I don't know. I really don't. I guess I don't know essentially what his beliefs are. I'm not sure. Right now. I am currently researching on the conflict and trying to educate myself more in general. So, because I will be the first to say that I'm not the most educated on the conflict, but I'm trying to become more. I think he wants to be pro-Palestine, but his actions have not been effective. I think that he hasn't necessarily made any personal moves to. I have watched half of the doc. Yes, I'm gonna finish it. I would have to probably Saturday, because tomorrow I have to do stuff and I want to be able to. But I like it. It's informational and I appreciate you recommending it. And I found a couple, and I found the other one that I wanted to watch too. Boop boop boop. I think that Ethan really is pro-Palestine. I really do. But I think that happy birthday, Gojo's mom. Or yeah. That's sweet. Yeah, happy birthday. I don't know if again, I don't think it's for me to speak on necessarily whether how his actions have affected the movement, because I just don't know. I just don't know. But I don't think that he is actively trying to work against the movement. I think he's actively trying to work against the activists, and maybe the activists are using that as a way of being like he's hurting the movement. And so I don't know which is which. Does that make sense? I don't know. I'm still trying to figure this whole thing out. And I don't know what is because I don't want to be stuck in an echo chamber. I really don't. I don't want to think something because somebody's told me to think it. I want to come up with my own opinion. And I don't, and that I'm speaking on the H3 side. I'm speaking how I used to think. I'm much more open-minded than I used to be, I think, about this specifically. Because I was always very guarded on Ethan, which I still think that he catches more flack than he deserves. But I don't know. I'll let you look into it. I have a firm and informed opinion on it at this point. I appreciate that you are allowing me the time to inform myself. I think that a lot of the actions that Ethan takes, and this is from my current opinion, things could change, but I think the actions that he has taken are specifically against the people themselves and not against their activism. I think that he completely agrees with their activism. Um, I don't think he agrees for the campaign that's against him, though, which neither do I. So, again, that opinion could change. My opinion has changed drastically, but still, I don't know. Really, my opinion hasn't changed that much, to be honest, but I feel like I don't know. I understand a lot better more points of view.
I mean, I don't want to talk about how she hurt feelings, but anyway, so yeah, so she was super offended. So then the next day, what had happened was the next day they came in and they told my wife that they don't know how she could date me because I don't respect women. And so because
She doesn't know how.
Wait, how did you expect your wife, Kate, to react to that?
I have no idea.
What
It
an
was
insane
crazy.
thing. I'm pretty sure I would, if I had to ask you if you thought Michael respected women, you would probably say yes, considering you're married to him.
100%. I love
Not in
it.
combat, though. Not in combat.
Not
of
in
course.
combat.
Right,
No,
right.
no
Yeah,
respect in
but-
combat.
Oh my goodness.
On her doctor. She told me personally that she wasn't too sure about it, and then her doctor told her to go too big, and now she's not happy, and she's got to get it taken out. But it's like, out of all the times that you could have done it after CC1,
So you're saying you're saying she
The stream was doing okay. I wonder if it was the Vigilante.
did it during training camp?
Yes. Yes.
Before the second
That
fight.
makes me want to leave it, but I'm not gonna.
Also, I told him, don't fight Alex Wasabi. Alex Wasabi loves boxing. He put a boxing ring in his backyard.
Yeah.
He moved a pro boxer that was like a really good pro boxer into his house. And I worked with him before the first event.
Yeah.
I worked with him before he fought Deji. And I was like, oh, Alex really likes boxing. So don't fight Alex. Because
Have I seen Ethan's conversation with Sam Cedar? Yes, I've covered it. So, yep, I've seen it. I don't necessarily agree with Sam. So I don't know if you want to watch my coverage. But I did cover it if you want to watch.
so don't fight Alex because he loves boxing and you don't like boxing. And so
He's going to be better. He's going to be a lot better.
well, so and then exactly, literally,
Yeah.
and then so and he trains with a good gym. He trained with this guy Brian Valoria, Julian Chua. So he trained with all these high level guys, and I'm like, now my brand's at stake because I'm going to be competing with that type of level of guy. I need to have you show out.
I appreciate you still being open-minded, even though I told you. Which I think, then that's kind of like, it's another, if you remain upfront, you know, I think that most people are going to give you the benefit about certain things. It's just, like, I would, like, the whole thing with, like, when the 30, I'm back on Creator Clash now. The whole thing with, like, when the 34% was being taken out. I mean, from my understanding now, which this could be wrong, that was during the first creator class, which is fine. I mean, I feel like that's something that you should be upfront about. If you're like, look, this 34% is being given to us, but it goes immediately to charity. And I'm sorry if you don't believe that, but you're just gonna have to take our word for it. I feel like people would have, you know what I mean? I feel like it would have been better than hiding it, which was disingenuous. And makes it seem it's like, why are you hiding it? Like, what do you have to hide?
You show out. And he had missed literally between May to November was when she got that done. And so he was supposed to train during November, but he took all of November off because she couldn't come to the gym. But originally
Whoa, he took the whole month off because of the procedure to
He
oh
said,
wow.
well, this is how you know he doesn't like boxing, because they said he was going to come into the gym when she couldn't be there. But then when she couldn't come in, he never came in.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was his thing. Where
He made a comment recently where he's like, when Anissa's not with me, I don't know what to say. And I'm
Which
like,
is crazy.
what happened to you? Who are
Which
you?
is
She tells him when he's hungry, when he's tired. How's
These CC events turn out to be more and more shame as the info comes out. Or more of a sham. I literally
when he's hungry, when
read that to know like what it said. I'm just a silly goose, guys.
he's tired? How's he gonna know?
That's why he's definitely in a gimp outfit at home.
Yes.
She had said that she had actually, I didn't know this, but she had done the Content Cop. She worked on Content Cop with him back in the day. But she's never apologized for the N-word. Only Ian apologized for that. And she was the mastermind behind it.
No, that's a great point because I always got the feeling that she wanted the credit. Like, oh yeah, no, I worked on that. But then it was her idea to go stalk Tana and do the N-word thing. And like you said, Ian's been out there apologizing, and then she's the one accusing me of being like not woke enough or whatever. And it's like, dude, you're the N-word girl. You're the N-word girl.
Yeah, you're responsible.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Someone needs to put N on her forehead.
Don't do that.
And for what? Yeah. Oh, because she's the N-word girl. Yeah, I see. No, don't say the word. Don't say the word. Let's see here. Is this an abuse fetish? I don't know. Or is he just like really pathetic? I don't know. It's very interesting though. We have so many like
I don't know it.
points of view now. And you know, listen.
She's so funny. She made me laugh so much throughout this. She's just like she is unbridled and gives no cares. She's so funny.
Oh, you're saying, yeah, it could be abusive, but at a certain point, it is definitely abusive, it sounds like. But at a certain point, where does he just become like a collaborator? I don't know.
He's a collaborator.
That's what I felt like too, because some of the times it was him, and then some of the times it was her, but then some of the times it was actually him, and she was actually the one keeping him like to stay the course. But at the same time, he didn't want a box, and she was the one that wanted him a box. That's what it seemed like.
Yeah, you know, here's a good example. Like when the whole Froggy Fresh thing happened, right? They were actually at our home because one of our mutual friend, David Benavides, who's a pro boxer, he was fighting that night, and Ian had met David Benavides through one of the YouTube podcast events that we were doing, and at the Benavides gym here in Washington. And so,
all right, I'm not trying to, but I've got to get through this, guys. Just gonna skip ahead just a little bit.
Graham, right?
No, I thought it was Graham Stephan.
Yeah,
Graham
Graham
Stephan.
Graham Stephan. Okay.
We are now up to
I think they're just talking about people that they've talked shit about now.
$136,000.83.
Nice. That's a good guess.
Is
Good
it
guess.
even?
Yeah, 198,000.
So let me just kind of heard him. So they have a limited space. It seems like they have like a very specific
I would
set.
terrible.
Let me
Like,
see.
even
I'm a professional podcaster, so I can look at this and I can say what happened, right?
This is not what podcasts are.
Okay, listen, I've got
Horrible.
credentials. You have no credentials. Where does he get off saying that?
You've chosen essentially the Keemstar.
Can you hear that, Dan? Okay, good. So it seems like they just have a preset thing here, right? Like that seems. Maybe they were just like this girl's annoying.
Yeah, to be honest, I just think they wanted Ian to interview.
Yeah.
I think they
Because
just
I
wanted
have
to
a
interview
whole.
Ian.
The reason I'm trying to get through this is because I have a whole other video. Wade's World posted this. It's pretty crazy. He said they didn't pay him. We'll get into it.
Just wanted to interview Ian.
Yeah, and he's the fighter, and he's the guy.
he's
I mean,
boxing.
what the fuck? Why do you have to be in everything? And he said, sit back, sit
Yeah.
down.
So wait, I gotta tell you this part to get Ethan. So like when we came to LA with them that first time, right, to be on your show,
Yeah.
it was so interesting because those two are very unprofessional. They're bad with communication, and they don't ever tell us anything ahead of time. So it's always last minute, right? So basically, the day before we were supposed to come on your H3 podcast, she was like, "Oh, I gotta get back to the hotel. I gotta rest and prep myself because I have a podcast tomorrow," and made it seem like it was just her. And so we're like, "Oh wow, maybe she's like this big YouTuber and she's gonna go on a podcast and we're just gonna follow her around." Turns out it was actually about Ian and the creator clash. You know what I mean? So she I feel like she was going on H3 for her.
We're eating breakfast,
Yeah.
so we go to eat breakfast in a hotel, and she's like, "I have a podcast today,"
Yeah.
and then Ian didn't say anything, so we're like, "Oh, she has a podcast, but Ian doesn't have a podcast." And then we go to Super Mega House,
Oh, yeah.
and it was Ian's podcast, and we're like, "Why didn't Ian say he had a podcast today?" Instead, she kept talking about how she had a podcast to do, and it was so odd because then when we got there, it was like, "Wait, this is Ian's podcast." Like,
I don't know if I've noticed that when they come on together, she does most of the talking. I'm struck by a memory long ago when they started dating at our old office back in the day. That was a long time ago, and Ian was like the content guy back then, and she was there, and there was kind of a narrative about how she was like just kind of a clout demon, and she was. I was like, "Do you want to sit in with us?" And then Ian actually was like, "No, she doesn't. She's not going to be in it." Like he asserted himself, and I was like, "Wow, that seems like he's pretty guarded about putting her on camera." Because and it seemed to me that she was disappointed, and he was trying to protect himself and his image. But obviously, a lot has changed since then.
right? Yeah,
A lot.
Yeah,
She told me that the reason why we moved away from LA was because she had all these friends that wanted to use Ian and just take from him.
Oh my
And
God,
so,
she's so doing textbook isolating him.
I'm sorry, I was getting my making sure I had that link. But yes, that is textbook isolating him. I'm still paying attention. Appropriate. It's there was a comment when somebody was actually concerned for Ian, which I don't I don't know. Could be. They said that and I've also suffered abuse. It is a pattern. I don't know. Somebody said that they were actually concerned for him. Somebody on the subreddit. And that Anissa was displaying very toxic behaviors. good luck on your journey. It's a wild fucking ride. I was looking at the documentaries that I was going through and how far I made it so that I could talk to one of my mods about it, but um yeah, I think that I don't know. I feel that I should look into it anyway, and I've been wanting to for a long time, so I'm looking forward to educating myself, even though I'll be learning about atrocities and such horrendous things. I know what the people of Palestine. I mean, not even just in Gaza, like what they've been through. It's awful. It's horrendous. So, um, yeah, very heavy stuff. I will be learning about it in my own time, and then when I cover it, if I decide to cover it, or if I decide to do that debate, which I don't think, I'm not gonna do that, I don't think, but if I decide to talk to the bad Emma Panda, which I don't think I'm gonna do that, but he's just crazy, guys, and I don't want him to like dox me or do anything nuts, you know. If my safety is promised, then possibly. But I don't think he would or could, so. But yeah, I just feel that it's important to educate myself on the subject anyway. Especially when, like, I'm covering this bubble that overlaps quite a bit, and there's certain takes that I would like, because it overlaps, I would like to be educated on the more serious aspects. Do you know what I mean? So he wants to talk to me on stream. Bad Empanada does. I don't think I'm gonna do it. And by all account, I mean, I don't think I seem great, like I'm acting wild, but he disagrees. So I think I don't know. I try to remain pretty neutral. So
Textbook isolating him.
Yeah, she's isolating him, and literally.
he says he thinks I'm brainless and he wants to talk to me on stream. He said to email him. So if you want to find that comment, you should go to, like, if you just, for whatever reason, if you want to see if I'm making it up, which I don't care either way. Yeah, it's still there. Go to my other video vigilante stream. It's in the comment section.
Isolating him, and literally, besides me and Michael in the gym, he doesn't have any friends.
Wait,
and
this is actually really sad.
He has no friends as well. It's ridiculous.
That's why I would feel bad for him.
Yeah.
That's why I felt bad all the time. I'm like, man, it's just that.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I'm not gonna. You can look at my response too. I asked for 3 to 5 business days to think about it, which means I'm probably not gonna do it.
And Graham Stefan's a Jew.
He is?
What?
Yeah, I asked ChatGPT.
There it is. I fucking knew it. I knew it. No wonder she hates him, right?
That's so surprising. The money YouTuber? It's crazy. You know?
Harley,
Stop
you
it.
can't say that with the Keemstar background, man.
Let me have fun. I thought that's what podcasting is.
We're
I
more than
thought
that
that's
now,
what
right?
podcasting is.
Jewish.
Do what you're comfortable with. I probably will. I don't know. I need to educate myself on the subject regardless, which I intend to do. So perhaps talk with Noah Sampson. I don't think Noah wants to talk. I think the only reason George wants to talk, excuse me, Bad Empanada, I think the only reason Bad Empanada wants to talk is because I literally only said George because I read Noah. I happen to know his name, but I don't know if he's public about it or not, so I won't use it anymore. Um, I don't think Noah wants to talk to me. The only reason Bad Empanada wants to talk to me is because I directly criticized him and he found the stream and he wants to call me out on that. Yeah.
Jewish. So Griffin, so that's funny. So that was it. Any other creators that they were all hyped out about?
Yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to remember who else.
I know that you know what's sad is because they.
I do agree that Noah seems like he would probably not be as bad.
Dad, Nathan Barnett all the time.
Really?
And, yeah, they do. They just say he's a weirdo and he does crazy stuff.
Yeah, but are they lying?
But they.
Yeah, I think
Still, I don't know if I want to talk to either of them.
I
Hey,
love that.
yeah.
I'm go joking.
No,
I
I'm
love
kidding.
that.
Yeah.
I mean, well,
I'm really not even sure what we're debating. Like, because my stance is I don't believe that any civilian life should be lost. I think that terrorist organization. I think that Hamas is a terrorist organization, and I believe that the Palestinian state should be the Palestinian state. I believe in Palestine. So I really don't know what I don't know what we would be debating necessarily. Ethan, possibly talking about Ethan. Sure. That one I don't need any prep for. Oh no, not me and you. If you want, we could talk. It wouldn't be a debate though. I was talking me or Noah Samson or me or Bad Empanada. I don't know what we would be debating. Is what I mean. Literally jobless behavior on Bad Empanada's part for searching every stream that mentions this drama. I know that's I can't get like it's like, dude, I'm so small. Like, why the fuck do you even care? Why do you care? Calm down. You know what I mean? Calm the fuck down, dude. It's like, and also it's like George. So excuse me. I got into that habit. It's a bad habit. But also, what do you? Is he using any creator drama to funnel attention? He is funnel attention to Gaza and Israel right now. To be fair, it has been working. I mean, if that's the tactic, in my opinion, he has said and done some things that isn't helpful to the cause. Only because it just doesn't, But it's just my opinion. Yep. Yeah, I really don't know what me and him would argue about other than him just saying I have opinions I genuinely don't have. Like, because I don't support Israel or the state of Israel at all. Not even a little bit. So, if that's what if we're talking about Ethan and whether I believe that he deserves the harassment that he got, then yeah, that's something that we could probably debate on. But I don't think why does that matter in the grand scheme of things? If I remember right on Noah's stream, he said he wanted to debate YouTubers just so he could get views and money. He's not going to get views and money from me. You know what I mean? That's why I was like, what are you doing out here, guy? I don't think that that'll help you. I don't. Maybe.
I mean, well, he's a strange guy, but they didn't sound like they said it in the
Yeah, I'm not big enough for it to.
It's sad because you know why? I see all the.
You're wasting your time, man.
To the creator clash, I see how much he cares about Ian and Nisa, and so for Ian and Nisa to throw those kind of comments around when we're about to go meet, Dad, it's just like it's sad because.
He would probably get you to be more understanding of the scale of information that Ethan has been responsible for. In my opinion, Bad Empanada has also amplified some awful things. But yeah, that would be helpful. I would probably rather not hear that from him it would probably be not he wouldn't be the best vessel for me personally to hear that from. I would like to hear that. Even I think Hassan would be better. Like not personally, like I need to go to a stream, a Hassan stream and like rebuff myself, you know. I think that he like even just through his content could explain it to me better. Not about the genocide though. Yeah, no, I don't know what we would have to talk about the genocide, but I don't again, if you just because I don't think that we differ. I just don't think anybody should die. And if he believes that, then we don't differ. And yeah. Well, I don't think that if I were to open myself up to that opinion, I don't think Bad Empanada is the best vessel for that, for me personally. I don't know if Hassan is, but he's better than Bad Empanada, that's for sure.
Like it's sad because we see him and then his eyes light up. He's so happy that it's Ian and you know. But then like yeah, but they talk so much shit about him all the time.
I had a little tiff with Dad, but everything's all good.
Because I really don't know. I really don't know where it started with Ethan. I'll be honest about something right now. I don't know where it started with Ethan. What I've heard the very few things, but I've also heard that, you know, gated. But I believe that, and I've done the research though on the other side for some of them. I don't know where the comments began. You know what I mean? Like you said here, responsible for amplifying the misinformation. I'm unaware of which things he was amplifying. Not saying it didn't happen. I'm just saying I would like, yeah, to be given specific examples. Hassan isn't much better, somebody said. Even Hassan could barely keep up with Bad Empanada on the rails during recent charity stream they shared with Noah. Yeah, he's unhinged. He's an unhinged individual. That's why it's like, of course, out of all the people to reach out to me, because I probably would have definitely talked to anybody else. I really probably would have. I try to remain very open-minded. I probably would have talked to anybody else but Bad Empanada. I was like, it had to be Bad Empanada, dude. Of course it was him. I was like, I probably would have talked to Mike from PA before definitely before I would have talked to Bad Empanada. Like, God. It's weird how Hassan has to throw iDubbbz into a fight, even with Ethan, after everything. Yeah, I feel like Ian's involvement shouldn't have happened. Ian should not have involved himself, and he clearly had something like against Ethan for a while now. I feel like it had to have been for him to so easily jump on this bandwagon. And the same thing with Anissa. And didn't they say in this that they had already had a problem with Ethan? Like there was something to do with, I don't know, he said something to Anissa or something that she didn't like. So, he said Hassan did not drag iDubbbz into anything. I think that Ian probably did it to himself. I don't think that he should have involved himself. I think that if you went, Hassan capitalized on it for sure. He was like, hell yeah, somebody in my corner. You know what I mean? But Ethan would have done the same thing. So, and has clearly. I mean, he's talking to these people, which they are. I like these people. I'm not saying anything negative about them. I'm just saying that it's like it's opportunistic, and anybody would have done it. Gaslighting Ethan. What is it? What did I miss? Oh, he. What did I miss? Let me hold on. He did the content cop swinging around the swastika sword and gaslighting Ethan. Gaslighting Ethan. What? I think he means there were certain things that iDubbbz said that I don't know if we're true. I don't know if that was gaslighting Ethan specifically. I mean, you could say that he was gaslighting the entire audience that was watching the content cop, if you want to say he was gaslighting people. Um, yes. I don't think that the debate was. Oh, the bleach sword. Yes, it's not. It is not. It's what is it called? Oh man. It's the Buddhist symbol. I forget. But yeah, no, it is not a swastika. Manji. Thank you. Yeah, it's a manji or something. Yes. Um, it's not a swastika, but I mean, I think that I don't think that he was outright trying to be anti-Semitic. I really don't. I think that the clip of Hassan, acknowledging that it looks like a swastika and that he really doesn't know that much about bleach is a little concerning. Um, yeah. He did call it one. I don't know if that. I think it was a bad joke that he probably should have just took the shot for. I think that would have cleared up a lot of confusion if he would have just been like, yeah, I saw the sword, I thought it was funny, and so I bought it. You know what I mean? Because then it wouldn't have been like, you're being anti-Semitic now. Um, it would have been like, they couldn't have accused him of being like, see, you're only pulling that out to offend me and Ethan couldn't have said that then. Fly. Ethan couldn't have said that if he had just been. He did say that? Oh, I'm so sorry. I haven't seen that. I saw the one stream, and this wasn't even through Ethan that I saw the stream. I saw the one stream that that Hassan posted because I was trying to get his side of it. And when he rewatched the video of him buying just this one stream, so I don't know. This is the only stream I watched. I will be honest about that. So he could have, if you're saying he said it repeatedly, I'm saying that I believe you. But when he rewatched the video, he just weirdly like talked over and kind of like yada yada over that part of it. And so I was like, oh, that doesn't make me feel good. I was hoping that he would face that part head on. So I'm not sure what stream, but I believe you. Yeah, it's not a great look. Wake up, Ethan. Wake up. It's time to be awake.
But everything's all.
It's like my Red Bull speaking to me when it's empty. No, there's a little bit. Oh. I just flipped my microphone up. Ball.
But everything's all good. Water under the bridge. But he seems like a very.
I think that once I am more informed on the I'm gonna quote "Wake up, Ethan" forever. A lot of people will. It's gonna be in our vocabulary when like we're all grown with kids, and we're gonna start like that's how we're gonna wake our kids up in the morning. Wake up, wake up. And they'll be like, "What are you doing? Stop that." I think y'all might have some misconceptions about Hassan and should look into clearing up, but y'all seem chill. Have a good night. You also have a good night. I actually I try to remain open-minded, but I overall of the conflict would just like to be more informed. So, who knows? Maybe my opinion will change after that. So he said, I've watched him for years. Good night. Well, that's nice. Saying good night and stuff. My legs hurt. I hope that that person's mom has a good birthday. Oh, God. This is why I need a desk. Because I'm in pain. Stop it, Eric. I know, I need a desk. Oh, yeah, I hope they had a good birthday. I hope their mom had a good birthday. Happy birthday, here's your cake.
He seems like a very...
If people want to use me as a cameo service, that's fine. I don't... Oh, God.
Sweet, interesting
Interesting, yes.
guy, but definitely passionate about boxing and putting on a great show for them. I mean, from Critic Clash 1, his fight with Matt was the one that everyone was talking about. Joe Rogan watched it, you know what I mean?
Yes, and she was upset.
I thought you said LOL, Eric, because I said I needed a desk. That's why I said that. Because my legs hurt and I'm dying. I probably should. This is why I need a desk.
They used to call him a weirdo?
Yeah, but he literally had some of the most viral moments of
Oh, yeah.
So, but another person, I know they didn't like the William Haynes, was it?
Oh yeah, the one that fought on CC2.
Yeah. Well, they didn't like his post-fight speech.
Yeah.
And a lot of us thought it was hilarious.
It is less cozy. I feel like my knees are gonna give out though.
Use the word.
Which guy? What's his name?
Was it
William Haynes?
William Haynes, right?
From
Yeah.
SourceFed. He said the
he
N
Jewish?
word at the end.
No, I don't know.
If he wants.
So okay, hold on.
He's a really nice guy. I love Will.
Yeah, he was hilarious.
Yeah.
So
Is
that's
this
what
him?
I-
This guy seems like older.
No, Ethan, that's not him. Oh my God, we're almost done. No, I mean no offense to them. I've just been watching it for it feels like millennium.
say things and you're like, that's her words. Like that's not your words at all.
That's such a bizarre freaking way to navigate the world, man.
I did have a moment at the
And it's on 1.5. It's on 1.5, and I feel like I've been here for years.
we had a moment at the gala, Creator Clash 2, where she gave a speech, and she had gone up there, and I remember she said her speech began with, "When I gifted Ian boxing."
What?
And then she went
When
on
I
to explain
gifted
it.
Ian boxing?
We're always fascinated by that choice of words, and it's something my partner and I, my
How do you
podcast
gift?
partner, we always.
That's
That's what we always say. We always do that whenever someone's doing something they enjoy. I'm like, well, ever since I gifted you a video game,
Wow,
you finally
what a
enjoyed
weird
them.
comment. All right, this next question is very salacious, so it's totally up to you. You can pretend like you don't even know what I'm talking about if you want. But what I've heard is that she was hitting
Ethan's such a messy bitch for this one, but I think it's funny.
on one of his sparring partners and was obsessed with him and gave him a VIP pass to the event.
A lot of his sparring partners got the passes, but she definitely had a big crush on one of the guys that would come in and spar with them. Because anytime they would spar, she would just be super into it and watch every moment. And then even if he would like beat Ian up, she'd be very into it. And then,
So I feel like this information leaked because I heard something to this effect, but like just through drama subreddit, so I never took much credence behind it. But I do feel like I remember people saying that and saying that it was Chris and saying that they thought it was Chris Reagan. So the fact that it's not Chris and that she has a pattern of this, if you guys haven't seen, let me just refresh you. That's not the right one. It was fine. It's fine. Anyway, she was weird with Chris. End of story.
and then,
Somewhere.
I want to say that, I want to say that before. So Anissa never gave shout outs to Michael training Ian at all, but she put out the first video of Ian like getting rocked in sparring when Ian was sparring with her crush. Yeah.
it was our friend Gabe.
She shared it.
Yeah.
And we have a clip to you guys.
I would call him Gorgeous Gabe.
He's a beautiful guy.
Yeah, he's got tattoos. He's large. He's tan.
He's tatted up.
Yeah,
I have tattoos. Nobody calls me gorgeous.
He
He
has
has,
nice
he has
tattoos.
very nice tattoos.
Yeah.
Oh, they're nice. Thanks.
We can actually clear it up. Like they literally did say that when they go get tattoos, they either point at the wall and get one off the wall, or what they would do, they would tell the tattoo artist that if he had a tattoo he really wanted to do, then he could just do it on them.
Yes.
And so like all these tattoos meant nothing except to somebody else.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so odd to just go in and say, hey, if I'm like, she was putting tattoos all over Ian.
During
We're
his
like, what the hell? This is crazy.
The fact that their tattoos are like the same makes me think like
I don't have much to say about their tattoos. They're cringe, I think, but I also have cringe tattoos, so I can't really judge.
why did he do that? Why did he do all the whole everything around? Just I don't know. And listen, you can make fun of my tattoos all you want, but mine are sentimental. They have meaning.
Yeah.
It's not, and it's funny because everyone says like, oh, you just picked like a random tattoo out of like the 25-cent gumball machine, whatever. But that sounds like it is what they did. They were just picking something on the wall.
That's why I was like, I want to clarify, because I always hear people talking about how they chose their tattoos. They didn't choose their tattoos. They walk in and they say, hey, tattoo whatever you want on them. There's only a couple tattoos that, like, I'm sure Anissa probably was in control of a lot of hers. But
She did say like that's like the style that she went for, but it's like in doing so she accidentally got some tattoos. If you want, I know for sure one. Wasn't it like a sailor piece or something? It's a piece that sailors usually get. Nick Diorio called them skateboards. That's pretty funny. What is it, like a sailor? It's like a sailor thing, I think. But that's like what happens. You get a bunch of random shit. You're probably gonna start appropriating shit eventually. You know what I mean? Oh. I feel like it should be an unsaid rule that anyone with tattoos shouldn't say anything. That's kind of why I'm like not being the most. I can't speak on it.
most of
I don't have the best tattoos.
Ian's, I think the only one he chose was like the eagle on his chest.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everything else. Oh, and then she had this story too about how this girl had a crush on Ian at the gym and was asking about tattoos. And I'm like, that story was never true. That girl has like, she's married with children and has her own life. She just also does like tattoos. What's that?
It's projection.
Yes, completely. Yes. Well, in my opinion, because you've already exposed her for being like the first person that Ian's ever been with, right?
Yes.
So in my opinion, what happened was she even told us, she used to always tell her mom, I'm going to be with a millionaire. And so we think that once she
used to tell her mom that she would be with a millionaire. How do you know
her
that?
mom told her that it had to be someone rich.
How did you know that?
Well, she told us.
Would tell us that.
It was. I know. I remember exactly. It was when we were in Vegas going to the other
Well, that's shitty.
podcast, and we were inside the Uber, and we were with Ian and Anissa, and Anissa said that like her mom only had two expectations for her to marry someone that was rich and also to be of her religion, right? And so she said that Anissa goes, well, I mean, I didn't get someone.
Here's the thing: is somebody said earlier that he's in debt now, so there's that, and also, not only is he not in your religion, he ripped up a Quran.
That was of my religion, but at least I got one part of it right. He's rich, and then she like laughed about it, and he was in the car, and you could tell he was bothered by it.
I was bothered.
Who wouldn't be bothered by that?
I feel like it's worse.
Yeah, this is on. It's like a fountain.
This is awesome.
That's really great.
Like any art is subjective at the end of the day. That is true. It is up for interpretation. Like literally, I don't think it was on purpose that they got the sailor tattoo. That it's like a rank thing, and like for them it is art. So like I don't know. I don't think it matters, but I think that's like the only thing that can be criticized about her tattoos is like it's that one that she probably shouldn't have because she didn't earn. But she didn't know, I don't think.
I felt like she was always trying to control him because she was the first girl he'd ever been with.
Yeah.
So I felt like she didn't want other people, I felt like that was
Did you know that?
With him.
That he you knew that?
He said, he claimed.
Just to verify, because people are like, oh, you're making that up. You guys are co-signing. He was a virgin.
Well, he claimed he was with one other woman before her.
Oh.
So what Anissa told us was that
camp.
Yeah. So Anissa told us that Ian had a girlfriend, but he never had sex with her, and that she was a single mom.
So he lied. What?
Yeah, and that's like he couldn't get anybody.
I heard this.
So like this.
He was dating a single mom?
Well, he
was
And they
something
didn't have
about
sex
some
with
sort
her?
of MILF at rock climbing or something.
Yes.
Yes.
Rock climbing,
Oh,
yes.
rock climbing MILF with a child, and then they never had sex?
Only single player.
This is a weird detail.
Yeah.
So hold on. So he says they had sex, but she says they didn't have sex.
I couldn't figure it out, but I swear.
So Anissa told me directly that like he dated a single mom and it went no.
I don't think it necessarily matters if Ian is a virgin when they met. I think it like speaks to their dynamic. If he was, I mean, it'd be considered a good thing. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. I don't think it matters. Is there anything else in this that's important?
Offered in any way. This is, you guys are hearing this for the first time. You had no incentive to do this other than your rageful, we all mutually despising these two evil people. I'm putting words into your mouth a little bit, but I want to say here that I, the capitalist, will once again be ponying up for the right cause. It is not right that he stiffed you guys. I'm going to be sending you guys $5,000 for the bonus that you never got. Because he should have never fucked you guys.
That's insane.
It's my pleasure to do it. I'm going to send you guys that money. You should have got more than it from him, frankly. But once again, let's just bask. Hassan doesn't pay his moderators. His mods are on stream begging for money.
Look it up.
Look at me.
I wish I could pay my mods. I'm sorry, Eric. I wish I could pay you, buddy. I don't have any money.
Right? Go ahead, Tom. Say something
The
nice.
greenhouse doesn't pay very well, and I don't get any money off from YouTube.
You're just an amazing person. You look very handsome in the suit
Thank you.
today.
That's
You're
what my mom
generous
says.
with your money. You're just all around good guy, good family guy, great dad.
I
and husband.
did. I did get like the first, which is like the first of like 5 or 6 steps, so I'm nowhere close. But I the watch hours or whatever to qualify for monetization. The first step to watch hours, which
Thank you.
I'm not even sure if I read it correctly, but yay! It gave me it was a party hat, so it looked like it was a good thing.
Communist never.
I'll say thanks for reimbursing me and Lena for her training. Those are nice. The check cleared.
I can't believe you're giving me $5,000. This is crazy, dude. I was coming here just for That's nuts.
Oh, you said, sorry, I didn't hear you. You said you were going to give him money too, Harley?
Yeah, Harley.
Harley is getting money. Give Harley money.
What you said?
No, but basically what I'm driving at, I want the best for you guys. It's totally unfair how you guys got stiff. So I want to promote you. What are you guys working on right now? Like, where can people go support you?
So I'm working on trying to get my own gym going. My business is called Bonafide Boxing. I'm on Instagram on Bonafide Boxing. We're gonna start doing more on the YouTube channel. We haven't done
Go
anything.
check out Bonafide Boxing. Yeah, I don't know how she got that. So some of them I think she did pick out, and I mean that could have been one that she walked in. You think someone would have told her though? You really do. So
Screen at the
I agree, especially because I feel like they go to professional people. They have to, you know. They spend a lot of money on tattoos, and if you spend a lot of money on tattoos and you're not, it's like stupid as fuck. So I would assume that they do go to a good tattoo parlor, you know, a good tattoo artist.
screen.
Probably not even a parlor, probably just like a artist that has a parlor. Well, I would say I consider like it doesn't matter. Shops that people work by themselves and like commission tattoos like art essentially, and then other people like have tattoo shops. And so I don't know. Like Ethan got his from like a tattoo artist, like a guy that commissioned tattoos. The puppy one, I know for sure. The shredder one, and then the shredder and Alfredo one. Or was it Ducky and Alfredo? It's Ducky and Alfredo, I think. I like the dog ones a lot, and I think the one that says kids, that's nice. Like, pretty. The shading's not my favorite, but I've never been the biggest fan of black and white tattoos. But color fades. Anyway,
Screen itself that long that there's no
I'm sure I lost like 10 viewers talking about tattoos just now.
reason to be booking massive venues if you're not going to sell them out. And this thing looked like it was one way
I only had 7, but -3.
traffic toward completely underselling this event. If they even were going to have it. It was not going to sell 20,000 tickets. So they've moved it to the Palladium. I've been to the Palladium a couple different times. This is the type of event.
All right,
that
I
needs
want
be
to
run.
give this guys. I
have
would like to start this over. Sorry.
made a ton of strides. I have become a commentator for bigger companies like DAZN, and allowed me to become a boxing commentator and combat sports breakdown connoisseur. And in that journey, I have made a ton of strides. I have become
Oh my god.
a commentator for
Oh, I don't
bigger
want a sleep
companies like
timer.
DAZN and The Ring Magazine, who's
Like,
also a licensed
playback
partner of my
speeds,
main channel.
please.
Outside of those parameters, the first opportunity I ever got to do boxing commentary was for a company called Creator Clash. And that was all the way back in 2023, I think. Maybe 2022. I'm not quite sure the timeline. But what I am sure about is I worked the first and second Creator Clash events, and while things started out very good, they have turned completely sour heading into this third event, and I have kind of been removed from it. I haven't really talked about it or thought about it or really checked in on what's been happening because I wasn't going to be a part of the event this year, but I did some digging today on live stream, and I found out this is worse than I think I could have imagined. Not just because of Creator Clash 2 failing on pretty much every front, but because Creator Clash 3 may end up worse, and it's because of the one simple thing that's always plagued Creator Clash from really start to finish. And that is, at the very least, a lack of communication. At the very worst, a full-on scandal. So let's break this entire thing down and talk about what went wrong with Creator Clash.
There's a lot of things that we want to talk about, but first and foremost, we want to announce that Creator Clash 3 is moving dates and locations. October 25th, 2025 is the new date for Creator Clash, and now it is taking place at the Hollywood Palladium here in Los Angeles, California. Well, thank you. Well, we don't have hype men, so I guess that's... with that comes a couple questions about ticket sales. A lot of people bought tickets for the Amelie Arena.
Scream at the top of my lungs that there's no reason to be booking massive venues if you're not going to sell them out. And this thing looked like it was one-way traffic towards...
I'm wondering how his story falls into this, because from what I've read, let's see.
underselling this event, if they even were going to have it. It was not going to sell 20,000 tickets. So they moved it to the Palladium. I've been to the Palladium a couple different times. This is the type of event they need to be running for this, especially with all the bad press, with all the stuff that went on with last year's event. It bombed on pay-per-view. They did do well to fill up the arena last year, but this was cascading event, and it wasn't looking good for the event in general when they were supposed to have it. And then two of the co-founders, Ian and Anissa, pulled out of the event. They just pulled out. We're not being associated. And that was like a couple of weeks before the event was supposed to take place, which was also not sowing confidence into anyone's mind. So for them to reschedule this, push the date back, and put it in the Palladium where there's 4,000 people, and honestly, a lot more creators don't have to fly across the country because most of them live in either Los Angeles or the surrounding area, or maybe in Texas. It's a good move, is my point. This is the first right thing I have seen people involved with Creator Clash do since
I feel you.
the first one.
We'll be updating you on when the new tickets will be on.
But I thought that meant they were still involved. They have actually stepped down.
So yes, Ian and Anissa have stepped down completely. There's no creative involvement, there's no financial involvement, there's no ownership involvement. They completely gave their stake to us, including their financial stake. They actually dispersed among the fighters, which is very cool of them to do.
So your question.
It's nice of them to say, but it feels like a sly, no?
From the people that were putting on the event, and mostly Ian and Anissa. There was a lot that was said that everything was for charity, for charity, for charity. And now, again,
Hey, look, something
charity.
up.
I don't know how much of them are for profit, right? Like, proceeds from profit go to charity, but also a certain percentage of that goes back to the people putting on the charity event. I don't know. Maybe that's how it works. But that wasn't how it was sold, right? It wasn't sold that fighters were getting paid to do it on top of the charity proceeds. It wasn't sold as charities will only receive money if we turn a profit. People thought they were buying so that this would be given directly to charity. And I think that's why people got upset, is when the second one didn't do very well, and even in the first one when fighters were getting, some substantial payments, even though you're fighting, I don't have any problem with that, but you better tell people, you better communicate with people that that's what's happening, right? Like, sure, lodging and hotels and all that stuff, and pay for training purposes, that makes sense. But when you don't tell people that's what you're doing, and you just say it's all for charity or it's going to charity, proceeds go to charity, then people do get a little sour when it comes to light that that's not necessarily how it's all going.
I think one of the biggest questions that people have is about how the event was run in the past and what is going to be different about it now, because obviously the first year was crazy successful. There was over $1.3 million raised. And so that was incredible. Second year, we upped the stakes, we made it a little bigger, and unfortunately it did not pan out in the way that we wanted. And there was no money raised for charity, which was so heartbreaking, like especially like fighting in it, putting all of that time and energy into doing this thing. And like, I know for a lot of us, especially you, Alana.
Did you enjoy the party? Hold on. To clash. Okay. Let's see.
Thousand people. I don't think that the issue was necessarily bad ticket sales for them. I think the issue was when he says we wanted to go bigger. They did go bigger. They built up a massive double the size arena, but they spent bigger. It's not just about the place that they had the event. It's the hotel being completely rented out. It's the gala. It's the percentage that was going to fighters. It was I assume the media, the hosts that were being brought in. Another thing was, there were a lot of people that weren't a part of the show that were there. I remember seeing the Hassan guy there. He was walking around in the hotel after, like at the little after party thing, like directly after the fights. Not the next day. The whole gala thing, I think, was the next day. I'm not saying that they brought him out there because I don't know that. But there were a lot of big influencer personalities, and I wonder, was this one of those Turkey al-Sheikh bringing, legends over to Saudi type of thing? The point I'm trying to make is it feels like the things they went bigger on that worked, they could have done and been fine. The things they went bigger on and didn't work, they didn't need. And that's the point where I hope that they realize that.
We were devastated as a fighter and as a producer of the event. It was awful that happened, and the audience too. Like to know that buying into the event and watching the event, thinking that their money's going to charity, and
the audience are the people that should be the most mad because they didn't have any control over this. Not the audience too. The audience first. It was their money that was taken from them and not given to the thing they thought it was going to be given to. The audience doesn't care if the event profited or not. The audience doesn't care if anybody got paid outside of the thing that they paid their money for, which was these fighters are coming in because they want to put on a show for us. And we're paying them to do so, but we're paying for the charity that's proposed for them to do so, not my money.
All right, I've got a timestamp here. Thanks to Nicholas the Oreo.
Hey, Giardia is actually a fairly common flu, I guess, but his friend made it sound like it was a rare disease that could kill the child. iDubbbz made a video saying Ethan's a bad person and said Ethan may actually be a bad dad. Lena, AB's wife, don't know who that is. AB... What the fuck was the guy's... Was that the Star Killer? Lena dropped from the event as her and AB worked, yeah, okay, with H3. iDubbbz also collaborated with very far left content creators in his video about Ethan, which made many of the fighters on the card feel like participating in the event was an endorsement of those extreme beliefs. Supporting Hamas, saying America deserved 9/11. What the fuck? I don't even know what to say to any of that, but I gotta be honest, I don't know. Again, this is one person's retelling of the story, and I'm sure there's been millions of different angles, and I'm sure there's another side of this which probably doesn't make it sound like what's being said here, but if that is in any way true, I, as a fighter, would feel weird about it too, especially the fucking AB and his wife. Why would I fight on the person's card who's going after my boss, saying they're fucking abusing their children, saying
well,
they're bad people, bad parents, whatever, and then I'm gonna go fight on your event? And also, if I was...
the Froggy Tonic guy did in fact say that. So
a fighter, I just want to go and support charity, but now I'm being roped into this,
and somebody happened to call CPS. Just happened to call CPS, and it's not that I'm not saying it was Froggy Tonic, but I'm saying that narrative throughout the snark and throughout all of that side of the internet for fucking a couple months, like that entire narrative. So there's no way that it's a coincidence that they say that nobody in that community did it. You can't prove it. It's like, you can reasonably assume, but I suppose no, you cannot prove that one of literally could be thousands of people. But you're right.
Being roped into this, again, being supportive of Hamas or being supportive of Israel. Discussion that I don't want any place on. I just signed up to fight for charity. I didn't sign up to play divisive politics or to be complicit in, or to have some sort of silent endorsement of one way or the other, which is
also
insane. Anyway, there's
people
the guy that's been
on the other side say, well, Ethan said himself that that the CPS worker said that the call came from inside. And it's like, well, first of all, I don't think that you can tip anonymously and it still lead to calls. And if anybody wanted their tip taken seriously, they could say they were anybody they wanted to, knowing that Ethan does have staff in the house. So.
Anyway, there's the guy that's been covering
and
this thing.
Also, a lot of them like to push the narrative that Ethan abused his housekeeper, which he didn't. That he was rightfully being sued, which he is not. He has the paperwork to back it up. She was rude to his nanny, and they had multiple HR meetings about it, and they informed her, and they ended up letting her go because of it. And there's a paper trail proving as such, but she wanted to say that it was because she asked time off for a surgery, and they were already intending on giving her that time off. It wasn't that so.
It's been covering this thing. It does feel like it's covered in a way that isn't very favorable to.
So people tried to make it look like it was the housekeeper, is what I'm trying to say.
But he's been covering it, so we have to talk about it. Nicholas D'Orio. I've seen this guy talk about it pretty extensively, and I'm trying to find the tweets where it started. I don't know what yeet is, but here's Dad talking about Creator Clash 3. I guess he talked about it yesterday or a couple days ago.
It's still going on. It's not happening June 28th. That's
gonna hurt yourself.
Out
Shut
there
up
now. So I can say that. But
also, usually the CPS worker isn't going to be that specific about it anyway. So it kind of blows my mind that they even said that was going to be like the second of all earlier. Kind of blows my mind that they even said anything about where the call came from. So
I can say that, but the official announcement will come out soon, this week, I think. So I'm still pumped. I'm still ready to go. It's not going to happen in June, and now that it's not happening in Florida and it's in LA, that will be good for me. And hopefully people can still come out here for that. If you did buy tickets for the fight in person in Tampa or the pay-per-view, you will get refunded for that. You will get your money back. So that's good. And if you can come to LA, that'd be amazing, because I'm trying to set up a after party, which I wanted to do the second year.
He seems so nice, and I mean, he might be an odd cat, but he likes Ian, and he's sad that they're mean to him.
After party / DJ show where I/Dad DJ, Dad's gonna DJ, after party type thing, or not even not like an after party. I don't want to make it sound like it's associated with the event. It's my own thing that I want to do, where Dad has like a dance party, and I wanted to do that after the second fight, but wasn't able to set it up in Florida. So maybe now I can. So anyway, it's still happening. I'm still fighting Jago. Apparently that's his name. I thought it was Jago, and apparently he's 25. I thought he was 28. He's younger than I thought. So the dude's literally 20 years younger than me. So we'll see how that goes.
So then we go back to this individual, Nicholas D'Orio, and he through tweets has been covering the situation. Ethan calls out Creator Clash Ian and Anissa after news of LA Beast.
I hope Dad's okay. I hope he's fighting someone 20 years younger than him.
Dropping the event. Okay, so earlier today, LA Beast, who was the other half of the main event, dropped out before I think the video came out that they made. So this is obviously from the perspective of H3. Doesn't mean that that's the whole thing, but LA Beast, due to a laundry list of reasons that will be revealed to you shortly, I unfortunately will no longer be boxing in the Creator Clash event. It's the best decision for me and my team at this point. All I wanted to do was put on a show, get paid, and ultimately raise money for charity. Unfortunately, that's not how it worked out. Sometimes plans fall through, and you've got to pick up the pieces to continue to move forward. Now, interesting that this guy says, I just wanted to put on a show, get paid, and ultimately raise money. He's being upfront with what he wanted to do out of the situation. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's not how it was sold to people, at least not the first two times. Ethan said it's a shame that he's used all these people for vanity project that was doomed from the start. LAB seemed to be taking it very seriously, according to Harley. Feel really bad for the guy. Hopefully they at least pay him back for the training. True. This is the thing, too. Harley has dropped out of the event after training. This guy's dropped out after training. Are they going to reimburse them even if they didn't fight? Probably not, because that's usually not how it works. But damn, it's not really the fighter's fault this time. Usually if a fighter pulls out of a fight, the promotion's not going to reimburse him for training because you got injured, or you didn't want to fight, or something else happened. But when the event itself is so in flux that it's up in the air whether it's going to happen or not, and then it changes to a couple of months later where you may have had things already planned because you are a content creator before you're a fighter, that's not very fair to the people that have trained. So how do you reimburse them? Not a question we have answers to yet. Here's Ethan. This is their announcement. Just quietly changed the date on their Twitter bio. No, I think he jumped the gun on this one. But Ian and Anissa can never pay back the time he lost with his family. And I guess this is LA Beast. Best to step away. You made the right call here. Other ways of making some money for charity. Pick it up. Dust yourself off. Have a good day.
Yeah, that's very true. Is that he has already he has spent time away from his child and his any other for this event, and it's basically for nothing now. So that's awful. That's
money for charity. Pick it up. Dust yourself off. Have a good day. How's it gotten to this point is a real bummer. Selfishness on the part of a select few, has taken away from the charity aspect and fighters who put on the sacrifice, the gym training the last few months. I sacrificed my time away from my newborn son and wife to train 5-6 days a week. Yikes. Well, that puts, again, a select few under the microscope. I'm not sure why people don't just say it's Ian and Anissa if that's what they think, too. Like, just come out and say it. So we have that. Let's look at the items tweet. I wanted to clear some things up now that Anissa and I are no longer a part of Creator Clash. When I announced CC3, it's a new business model. The communication wasn't clear. That seems to be a recurring theme throughout Creator Clash. Looking back on my video and the current reaction, it was obvious.
Yeah, they don't. They're not good at communicating apparently. Even though that was like what everybody would always compliment was her communication with the fighters, but apparently they are not transparent at all about anything and lack all communication skills when it comes to the public, the fighters, pretty much the whole event, the whole damn thing.
My video and the current reaction, it was obvious it was too vague. Again, they should have learned this at number 2. Things were too vague at number 2. So to come back and be vague again in Creator Clash 3 shows me that you didn't learn anything. And this is not like they just announced the event right after number 2. They had 2 years. When the number 1 complaint coming out of number 2 was there was not a clear communication as to where money went, and people were upset about that, especially seeing as the money that was promised was to go to charity didn't go there because they couldn't make a profit. Looking back on the video and the current reactions, obviously it was too vague. It remains true that I earned a fight purse for CC1 along with other fighters, and we did not profit at all from CC2. After CC2 failed to raise any money for charity, we knew it was time for a different business model. We restructured so that the funds from our charity partner...
I'm so confused on the timeline. So when was the 34% taken off? CC1?
would be raised on Tiltify.
Because they didn't profit at all from CC. And charity didn't get money from CC2 at all. So I would assume that they got that 34% has been since the first Creator Clash, which they have not been transparent about. That's just what I'm gathering from what they've said.
Would be raised on Tiltify separate and apart from the actual event. We then decided that this year we would take a profit share from the for-profit side of the event, should the for-profit side even succeed. I feel sorry for any confusion that Anissa and I have caused. We know the event is in good hands now and wish it all the success. So, I'm just confused here. Again, this didn't clear anything up. It remains true that I earned a fight purse for CC1 along with other fighters. Where did the rest of the money go? This didn't clear that up. Not that we need to go, how much did you earn versus, I mean, some people are going to do that. How much did you earn? We just want, like, a concrete, what was the amount that went directly to charity? That's really the only answer people need.
Yes, yeah. So when you took out that 34% that you used for charity, Ian, when was that? Was that because CC2 there was charity there didn't get any funds, you didn't get any funds, and you're saying that you received a fight purse and that you earned that you so I'm assuming that means you kept the fight purse and then the 34% went to charity and CC1, but the 34% was paid to you and Anissa, right? That just was you weren't upfront about that. Am I missing something? That seems like what it is, but I could be wrong. I guess that's just I don't know.
Charity. That's really the only answer people need. And how much did you profit? That way we know how much was not given to charity and how much was. And then he says, and we did not profit at all from CC2. We meaning Creator Clash. We meaning myself and Anissa. He says we restructured the funds from our charity partner would be raised on Tiltify separate and
literally. I think he means the whole thing. Nobody. I mean nobody earned anything. I had a friend that told me they studied a lot with what not to tattoo, like especially like knots and stuff, like special knot. Yes, but that could just be the place he worked out. Yeah. Regardless of the content, iDubbbz to drop that content caught before the event. Was a negligent move on his part. Yeah, I think that it was that if he wanted to do that, he should have waited for sure. Does anyone know if he is working on the content cop before the CPS was talked about? Let me think. Okay. So I'm pretty sure he was not, but I don't know. Just because he says in the content cop that he acts like a lot of his frustration is that Ethan and Hila have been specifically attacking them now. And that's his reasoning for making the content cop because Ethan has then brought them into it. So I would assume that means, this is just a guess, but I would assume that means that that the CPS stuff was already happening. That because Froggy was saying that, and that's what drove the wedge. Was that their moderator, editor, whoever he was, Froggy Tonic, was promoting that narrative, and they were promoting him, and didn't cut ties with him publicly or otherwise. So that was Ethan and Gila's main problem. And why they talked about Ian and Anissa on stream, and that is what Ian says is his main issue, or in the first content cop, that is. So does that help?
Filtify separate and apart from the actual
I don't
event.
know
We decided this year we would take a profit
if it does or not. I'm sorry, I tried.
share for the for-profit side of the event. Should the for-profit side of the event succeed?
Because I'm not sure. The timeline does matter, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to make sense of it, though.
We're doing an event to make money. We're going to put on a creator clash. But the charity side is this. If you want to donate to charity, it really doesn't have anything to do with the event. So they really should stop calling it a charity event if they're not having the people that buy. This is how people get confused. That's not even more clear. It's almost like putting a fucking hat on and then putting a hat on top of that hat instead of just fucking taking the hat off. It's so, like, you're over-explaining something to make us more confused. So, okay, for the last time.
I agree. That's a good way. Yeah. That's exactly what's happening. I completely agree. He's both dancing around it and trying to saying the thing, so for one, to confuse people, and to be able to be like, well, it's not that I haven't been completely transparent, and it's like, you have, and nobody's buying that. So
Okay, for the last time, this is a regular boxing event that has a charity attached to it, that if you want to completely separate from the event, donate, and I'm sure they'll plug the charity, you can do that. But if you buy this event, if you buy a ticket, if you buy a pay-per-view, you're buying a boxing event, and that money goes to the fighters and the production and the renting of the venue. But you're telling people it's a charity event. Stop telling people that, because it's not what it is. That was the whole issue with the lack of communication behind number 1 and 2. That it's a charity event, charity event, charity event. It's not a charity event. It's a boxing event that you are perpendicularly associating with a separate charity that has nothing to do with people buying the boxing event. I was a part of the event and didn't know any of this. I didn't know where money is going, outside of the fact that I was offered and said, no, I'm all.
in March, Ian and Anissa mentioned the Froggy drama, but wanted to move past it. Okay. So I don't know if that means that they had made that he was working on the content cop or not. In April, Ian dropped the content cop. It felt like a rushed project, but who knows how long he was working on it. Ethan, well, let me just do this. Let me look at H3 and see when they started mentioning like Ian and Anissa in thumbnails and stuff. Seems like a short period of time to film and edit the vid. Yeah. It does, yeah. But I mean, he put out that the content deputy pretty quick, and he also put out the one he just put out pretty quick too. I feel like he's not doing as much editing as he used to, which probably helps with time. The content cop was better edited than the other 2 videos, in my opinion. Oh. Scroll, scroll, scroll. I don't see them in any thumbnails or titles. Like, okay, so there's Ethan reacting to the content cop. Yeah, they didn't even like put them in the. So I don't know when Ethan even started talking about them on stream. I remember Hassan saying he was getting interviewed during filming of it, and those interviews came out right around the same time. My timeline could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know. Trying to help, but I'm really not sure. I think the timeline is askew in general. I feel like Ian and this is just my opinion from watching like interviews with them in recent times. Feels like he's had it with Ethan for a while now. It feels like he has not wanted to be friends for many moons. And it's probably due to Anissa, I would say. But he was in it, so I don't know why he said that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. In terms of timelines, I really am curious about when the 34% was taken out, though, for Creator Clash. I don't. There won't. The only way we can know is if they tell us, right? There's no there's no way to like.
Offered and said, no, I'm all good on that. I want to be there to support, and because they gave me an opportunity, which I'll always be grateful for. But this side of stuff is very weird. What is this that I just got sent from April 2025? A clip just resurfaced from 2022 where iDubbbz and Anissa downplayed the charity aspect of Creator Clash. They describe it more as an influencer party or VidCon competitor. The main goal is to get people paid who are involved in making it happen.
I see.
If it works out, then we can do that, and there could always be a charity aspect to it. But I think the main goal is just to get the people paid who are involved in making it happen, rather than like making exorbitant amounts of money.
So your goal is to build an institution of sorts, this Creator Clash, where you can have people.
Fun.
There's a champion every year.
It's a party.
Interesting.
It's like a way more exciting VidCon, or like I want it to be like influencers can like care about this and fans can care about this and like watch.
Okay, so that's not the first time she has said that. She has said that more than once. Girl, go to VidCon, or like do iDubbbzCon or something. TanaCon. I don't know. Follow in Tana's footsteps. What are you Why are you doing a boxing event? That's just silly.
Watch it and have like a build up, like maybe parties before and like stuff.
Yeah, because we've gone to like the last Jake Paul event, and it was crazy the amount of influencers that were there. Excited to see it. They weren't all my cup of tea.
Sure.
But it was exciting. Everyone wanted to be there. It was fun, and I think if we can harness some of that, but have it be even more exciting, because all of our fighters are mystery fights. You don't know how it's going to go, and then you have this, charity element. It's just like a win all around.
So in the future, maybe there'll be more profits potentially for you guys.
Potentially, but we're not looking at that really.
I see what's happened here, man. They went to, and they're talking about 2022. I have to assume this is around the time where Jake fought Tyron Woodley. They saw the success of influencer boxing. They saw the success of Jake Paul.
They've already, so the 34% has already been taken out for charity, I'm assuming. But he received a fight purse for the first, received nothing for the second clash.
Influencer boxing. And by the way, I think that first fight was, or that second fight was in Florida as well, if I'm not mistaken. And they went, we want a piece of that. Makes sense. No big deal. The problem is you don't hear the enthusiasm about it being charity event, over and over and over here, like it was marketed when it came to fruition. Now, all the stuff they're saying there is legitimately what they tried to do. They want it to be a party. They want it to be like VidCon. They want it to be like influencers all gathered in one place. That's what happened. Especially, again, my memory is failing me with number one.
Yeah, it's not a good thing.
There in my hotel room, fucking locking in and studying. But number two, I did see a lot of influencers there. I did feel a little bit out of place and like it was a bit more VidCon-y than an actual fight event and like a party, all under the guise of a charity event. When that's an element, no, that was the entire selling point, was influencer boxing charity event. This is not good, man. And again, people wonder why number two didn't go the way they wanted. Number three is up in the air. People are upset. They're asking about the number. Where's the money going? People wonder why, but that's the side. That right there is why. Again, if you market it that way the entire time and you're very specific about where money is going, that's fine. But that is not what's going to get a groundswell of support. Charity will. I have a feeling that there's more vague spots here. Right after he said it was obviously vague, it feels like the next two sentences, or the next sentence, is also vague. It remains true that I earned a fight purse, and we did not profit at all from CC2. But you're also the co-founder of the company. And again, according to this new distribution, there was a further 34% profit share originally that was going to be allocated to them. Is that because of the switch? Or was there maybe 20% that went to other fighters, and Ian himself got a bigger percentage? Again, would not be a problem because you're the main event, because you're the co-founder. That would not be a problem. You know who else does that? Jake Paul does that. Jake Paul on MVP events gets a higher percentage of pay-per-view cut than anybody else as a fighter because he's the fucking co-owner of MVP, and also gets a fight purse because he's the main event fighter. But again, that's not how this was marketed. That's not what people thought they were buying. So even if this is the numbers that we use to try to make a calculation that may not be accurate, I think there's some vagueness of what Ian is saying here that leads you people to believe
yeah, 100% there's vagueness.
that he just got the same purse as every other fighter. He says, I earned
And
the fight
everything,
purse, along with
everything
the other fighters.
that
I don't know if that's
Ian has said is so vague. It's super vague.
the case. If it was just the same, right? And not to be
It
pocket checking or whatever.
pretty much means nothing.
But people should know that you got more because that was not the point of the event to be. Anyway, so here is the verbiage of the new one, which we kind of just have beaten into the ground, but this is just, we'll just keep talking about it here. What's happening with fundraising and charity? Fundraising efforts will continue and expand in the lead up to the new event date. All funds raised so far are secure and unaffected. The Creator Class 3 broadcast will once again be run as a charity stream, with Stand Up to Cancer remaining our exclusive beneficiary. Funds raised through the Creator Clash Tiltify campaign go directly to the charity. All donations and designated fundraising proceeds go to Stand Up to Cancer. You couldn't explain this any worse, except if you didn't explain it, and this may be worse. This is crazy. This is word salad. The Creator Class 3 broadcast will once again be run as a charity stream, with Stand Up to Cancer remaining our exclusive beneficiary. But the thing they're not saying is when you
Word salad is a great way to describe it.
buy the stream, that's not where the money goes. That's not what happens. You can't call this a charity stream if none of the money that people use to buy the stream goes to charity. I can't believe this. You can't say that, man. You can't. Because look at the next paragraph. While Creator Clash is traditionally promoted for-profit event, the financial success of the event does not impact the amount raised for charity. But you just said the broadcast will once again be run as a charity stream. So how does an event achieve success? Let's fucking make this as simple as possible. How does a boxing event achieve success? By people buying the broadcast, whether at home, on pay-per-view, or coming to the venue. If the broadcast is marketed as a charity stream, but the financial success of the event does not impact the amount raised for charity, how the fuck does that work? Hey guys, buy the charity stream, but none of the financial success of said buying of the charity stream is going to impact the amount given to charity. What? It's like, just say one thing. The Creator Class 3 broadcast will be run as a for-profit event, and the financial success of the event does not impact the amount raised for charity. Second paragraph. Funds raised through the Creator Clash Tiltify campaign go directly to charity, with Stand Up to Cancer remaining our exclusive beneficiary. All donations and design fundraising proceeds go to Stand Up for Cancer. That's all you had to say. If you literally just reword this, it works. But you can't run an event, say that it's a charity stream, that the broadcast is run as a charity stream, and then say
This
everything
decision was made by Ian and Nisa, I'm pretty sure,
that you
too.
guys pay for to watch the broadcast doesn't go to charity. That's fucking
Before they, step down,
Like, that's
step
crazy.
down as co-founders.
And then there's this. We kind of looked at it already, but yes, each fighter receives a guaranteed purse to help cover training, preparation. Fine. That's good. Hey, it's finally in writing. In addition, 20% of net profits will be given from the event will be evenly split among the fighters. Okay, so this is something we didn't know. Not only are fighters getting their purse, right, which is what we heard in the video, that fighters will be given a purse to cover their training expenses, which is fine, fair. Now they're getting a percentage of pay-per-view. And I don't know if that's the way it worked before, because I'm so fucking confused right now. Maybe that's the point, to completely confuse you. But this now is 20% on top of the purse that the fighters are going to get, which again is fine. They're explaining it here.
I think
Cool, but
they are trying to leave people in the dark as much as possible, because none of this makes any fucking sense.
it's hard to get on board with this when you say that it's a charity stream. A further 34% profit share, originally allocated to Ian and Nissa, is also being redistributed among the fighters following their departure. So really, fighters get 54% of the profit share and a purse. Jesus Christ. All right, fighters getting the fucking bag, son. Okay. Now, this is only...
Content Cop Con. Yeah, if you want a convention, make a convention.
if the event is successful, right? So you're hearing profit, profit, profit. This is only if the event is successful. Now,
don't ruin a charity boxing event because you want to have a big party and invite all your friends and have like a VidCon. Just have a VidCon then. Just have Content Cop Con and just do that. It's fine.
Maybe a little confused. None of this goes to charity, okay? None of the amount of money that is being spent on the actual event, I need you to understand, none of it goes to charity. So the other 46%, that leads me to believe that they believe that 46% of profits will cover their ass when it comes to renting the venue, all the hotels, the travel, the production costs, all that. That's what I think. The 46% is meant to cover their expenses. And the other 54, I guess, is just the fighters, then that's fine. But again, just say that and don't say it's a charity stream. So this is where you will donate to benefit charity for Creator Clash 3. Right here. This has nothing to do with the event. If you didn't watch a single round of boxing, and wanted to donate to charity, this is where
Yeah, you have to separately go and donate. Like I mean, it has a. You don't even have to go. You don't have to buy tickets to the event to donate. I just don't understand.
You would go. You could legitimately say, I donated to Creator Clash and never watched the event. The problem is, and this is all great, by the way, you can't really deny that raising this amount of money for charity is awesome. Problem is, they are not marketing it that way. That one lady in the sit-down was the most clear about it, but what they're saying is not what's happened. They are, once again, calling this a charity stream. Nothing, like, in the event in general has to do with charity. Nothing about the stream, the broadcast, the venue, the fighters. The event in general has to do with charity. It is just, alongside the event, there is this. They're saying it's a part of Creator Clash 3, and maybe they'll promo it on the, hopefully they'll promo it in the event, but you're not supporting charity if you support Creator Clash 3, unless you do both. If I go to creatorclash.com, hold on a sec. This part right here could get really fucking weird. And it just hit my fucking brainstem. Now, granted, if you're already on the website, here's the donate now button, right? And it's in clear view, whatever. But if you do want to get more information and you go to creatorclash.com and you think, oh, let me just buy a ticket, you may generally think you're buying an actual ticket for charity, and you're not.
Yeah,
you're buying it for the event.
because it's connected.
And that's it. Now, what is this? 100%
through
of
the charity website. That's crazy.
net proceeds will benefit Stand Up to Cancer. So can you donate here and it goes to the thing? Let's try it, because this is important. This is important. I want to see if this works. What's the number at right now? 237,886. Just a little test here. Little test. I don't know when it hits the grandstand here. Let's give it some time. I want to see where that goes. I didn't drop 50. I dropped 10. We need this number to say 89659. That's what we need that number to say. It'll take some time. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Anyway, the point I'm trying to make with this entire thing is it's very difficult unless you give people a walkthrough to even know that this is a part of, like, you could not know how to, like, what the add-ons is, whatever. There's no direction for people to click on that, like click on the add-ons to benefit Stand Up to Cancer. Instead, there's just this, right? There's just the click on the ticket. So if you were reading that this was a charity stream and you had no idea where the link was to go, because I didn't, you have no idea where the link is to go to Tiltify. But you know Creator Clash because you watched a couple of them, or because you know your influencers, and they're going to put the link to creatorclash.com in their description. And you go and buy this ticket. You're not contributing to charity. This is not a charity stream to you. You just bought a boxing event. No big deal. But saying, like, fundraising on behalf while you're not doing the fundraising for the event, there's a separate entity that does it, is just odd. It's just an odd thing, man. Just an odd thing. Anyway, you guys let me know, should we keep diving down this disgusting rabbit hole of debauchery and fucking drama mixed with real life issues and Creator Clash confusion? I don't know. But they're saying it's a charity event. But the reality is this is a boxing event that has the option for you to donate to charity. The vague miswording, mishandling, up in the air, back and forth, involving Israel-Palestine, and then kind of ditching the event from Ian and Anissa, it's all completely destroyed this event. And it's a sad thing because this thing, it started as a come-together moment that everybody could get involved in, and we all really felt good about. To now see where it's gone is such a damn shame. But what happens next for Creator Clash, I guess we'll keep up and see what they say. But as of...
All right, 1 second. It's the right channel. Yep.
Some clear hand movement right here. Let me change this to red. All right. Let me just zoom out a little bit. It appears to me that we are getting a full, like, is he doing it? Is he doing it right now? I can't, can you tell? Okay, I'm sorry. That's a joke. I'm sorry. I'm
abusing their children, saying they're bad people, bad parents, whatever. And then
but dude, this is like every and stopping on the word. Is that a lie? Because they're saying the purse is the training money.
Has nothing to do.
Nicholas, the goat.
Dude, I have such bad ADHD. He's like, holy fuck. I can't. I am not going to fucking idly sit by while this person posts the cringiest shit I've ever seen in my life. How do you fucking, where's his account? Oh, I wrote Drew Davalou. That's why it's not coming up. Drew Pavalou. Where's this fucking tweet where he's doing the dance routine and he posted it like in support with Destiny? Is even funnier. Like, you know that cringe meme that was sent to me earlier in the stream and I fucking played it? This guy unironically posted, "Together we're gonna save the West," and posted this. Like, hold on, I need to add some music to this. I actually know the perfect song, dude. Here, because I can't play the actual song because it'll get me claimed.
Dude. Nick, what the fuck, dude?
I saw this the other day when I was streaming, and I didn't have an opportunity to really sit out and watch it. I'm actually super interested. If you guys don't know, Wade Plem was apparently a employee of Creator Clash 2. Supposedly Creator Clash 1. I guess I'll find out more information when I watch this video. But the thing is, the best part of this whole thing is Wade apparently worked for free because it was for charity. I'm actually so weak about this. Literally, I'm not pulling this up. Oh, why do I have to pull this up, dude? Oh, come on, Smaggle.
I hate you.
Wade apparently worked for
Nick.
many people. This thing's got 26,000 views. So
Stop.
So unfortunately, the YouTube boxing scene is just not as big as it was.
Become a boxing commentator.
Minute video. It's probably, I don't think we'll watch the whole thing, but I really do want to see what Wade has to say about this because I know him. You know what I mean? Like, I went to one of these boxing events. Wade's name comes around a lot in association with like these specific types of events. So it's actually kind of interesting to hear from him.
I also run a YouTube channel called The Weight Cuts, and that channel has allowed
All
me.
right. So apparently, because that explains why Wade is so upset by the situation. Which he needs to make a video about that part. But it explains why he was so upset about the situation because he donated his time for free under the assumption that the whole thing was for charity, and now it's officially not a charity event at all anymore. So, that explains why he is so upset. I would be too. I'd be pissed. So I just wanted to show the creator class subreddit, because this is like their sub. This is their sub. This isn't a snark sub. This is the creator class sub. This podcast discussed being flown out for CC2 and being spoiled.
That was it.
It was a really wild weekend, though. Like that whole weekend
speed, dude.
was. I've never experienced anything like that weekend before, and we were treated so well.
Yeah.
Like we were spoiled to the point where I didn't know what to do with myself. I was like, oh man, this is like too easy. This is too nice.
Yeah, I haven't been on that side of the fence in a long time.
Yeah, we were at this like the hotel. So it was for Creator Clash. And yeah, they had us at the hotel with all like the people who were fighting, and it was, but the whole hotel was reserved for us, and like to get in was like metal detector wands.
When did this come out? Wait, when did this come out? 2 years ago. Oh shit.
Credentials to get into the lobby.
I've never seen that
Good find.
in my entire life. The hotel was only for YouTubers, and no one else was permitted.
I'm gonna shout them out.
With security stuff. And
I'll shout that Redditor out here in a minute.
all that. And I've never seen more security
No.
at anything. Like, I mean, it was like any doorway, entrance, exit, anything was just guarded.
The first night we were there, we were hanging out. You guys didn't come down. Sean, you were there for a little bit. Rocky, you didn't come down, but we were there probably like 1 in the morning trying to get some food. We ordered pizza from Domino's. Wait, shouts out Domino's. You guys took care of us.
If you're watching this,
I'm sure they are. And we were waiting for our food to show up, and I saw these girls walk through, and I was like, oh, it's only YouTubers in here. Who are these YouTubers? They look so interesting. They got like cool. They look really fancy, you know? And I was like, what is this YouTube channel? And then they left, and I was like, And then 2 more clones of them walked in looking exactly the same. And I'm like, oh, they must be part of that YouTube group's entourage. Weird that they all dress the same. Same sparkly boots, same prom dress on.
It's like Lisa Frank threw up on them.
And then two more walked in. I was like, what the fuck? And then I realized that the Taylor Swift concert was happening.
Yeah.
Theme of the weekend, Taylor Swift. And it was a bunch of Taylor Swift fans. And they all... That is when I realized that being a Taylor Swift fan, you have a uniform that you have to wear. It's like glittery cowgirl boots and a prom dress.
Okay.
They were. I thought like it was a gymnastics thing or something. It's just a bunch of
Stop
girls
talking about Swifties.
I kept saying like, is there a college near here?
Something like that.
What's going on?
And I walk into the Starbucks and this girl looks at me like,
What?
Walk 10 feet.
I'm into like music festivals, and you see people fried on acid, and they're just watching a guy play guitar. Do that at the Taylor Swift concert. She's swimming through the stage.
Oh,
so
I
now
didn't think about that, but like I was counting my time of like, no, I gotta leave like in 5 minutes.
Oh fuck, dude.
So I call the Uber, and then am sprinting as fast as I can to go to this place called George Steinbrenner Stadium.
That's the pickup spot.
What's that?
I think they're not even talking about like the event. They're just talking about like the fun that they had. The fucking I've never even heard of I've never heard of these guys. I can't say, but they're just like they're talking about how like they use it as like a little like mini free vacation, and like they're hardly even promoting the event. That's crazy.
The pickup spot.
What's that?
That's the pickup spot.
which is like
You hit accept before you were at the pickup spot.
Yeah.
Ethan promoted the event way more than these guys are. These guys were pampered. Holy shit.
Because I knew like to get anything, I'm fucked. Like it still wasn't bad to go that way. Like
Okay.
it wasn't expensive, but it was like, but we're not getting anywhere near this fucking stadium. Like
No.
you have to go to another stadium
Yeah.
essentially. So I am running, like sprinting, and like first off, I did all this for fucking nothing. Like I can't. Like,
You had nothing to
I didn't
show
get
for
a
it
shirt. I
at
didn't
all.
get anything. I texted Jenny in the line, like I got in way
Thank
over
you to
my
this
head.
Redditor.
This was a big mistake. I
And
shouldn't
now,
have done this.
are all the kids like anticipating
No,
merch
I
because
don't
they
think,
know
I
you're
don't
in
think
line?
she told them that
Okay.
I was going to do that.
Smart.
So I am running and like I.
That's crazy. Okay. But I just wanted to show that, Creator Clash is just not feeling it. And he said there was one post that I thought was funny. 0 upvotes. It says, I feel this subreddit and others are distracted with complaining about former handlers of Creator Clash, so I felt it prudent to make a subreddit for refugees of the IDUB subreddit for anyone else who feels Ian's matured beyond to congregate and speak openly. So, you want to go check this out? Um, oh my god. So that's what that sub turned into. I don't even know if I can read all this out loud. I thought that was funny. But I am probably gonna get off here for the night. Let's see. Maybe there's a couple more. It's a good way to end the night on. I feel like Ian was crying here because they already knew how much money they lost. I'm a nurse, but okay, I'm allowed to be upset that an event I gave money to lied and the owners took millions from the profit when they said it was going to charity. What? Millions? Ian took a fighter's purse for 1 year and nothing for 2. Or for year 1 and nothing for 2. This year was restructured due to the profit side failing. Year 2, where are you getting your info from? Somebody said, and then this person said, you can be upset, but not to the tunes of millions. We're not that good at charity fraud. Oh. Yes, I do have one, but I don't have it set up yet. I'll have a bunch of links for everything soon in the description. My Etsy shop and everything will be linked. But I stream every Tuesdays and Thursdays for sure, and then sometimes on the weekend. But that's usually that's to catch up if I've missed during the week, or that's I don't want to. I'll stay on this. Stay on something on here. Here, Nicholas Diorio. That's usually if I miss or if something comes up that I need to cover, like that's time sensitive. So if that happens, I'll see you then. But I'll definitely be back Tuesday. So unless I make a pose and like I'm sick or something, but it should be fine. I should be there. So. Oh, I will see y'all next time. Thank you for being here, everybody. I really appreciate it. It was good talking to everybody too. Thank you, Eric, for being here. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Aliens. Aliens. I'm very tired. So, bye-bye. So I'm sorry about that.